we are set to wrap up week 1 and the 100th meeting between these two teams, the Chargers and the Raiders. Oakland wins the toss. They will receive. Nate Kading getting set to kick it off. Louis Rankin is deep for the Raiders to get things started. You mentioned Tom Cable. Coached 12 games last year on an interim basis. Now it's his show in Oakland. The place is packed. Raider Nation is here, and they're ready. And we are underway in Oakland. Rankin out near the 25 and pushes forward out close to the 30-yard line. Tim Dobbins on the hit, and that means we get our first look at the enormous Jamarcus Russell. Certainly last year the numbers unspectacular, but Steve, as the season went on, he's certainly improved. In the last few weeks he looked a whole lot better.
Well, Coach Tom Cable told me on Saturday that what he didn't have last year was some receivers, and so they've gone out, gotten some better receivers. They drafted Hayward Bay to get things started. These are 2 rookie receivers starting on his outside, but they are quick. They're going to get open and give him opportunities to get the ball out of his hand, which last year they really didn't give him a chance to.
First team since the 2000 Bengals to start 2 rookie wide receivers in their opener. And right off the bat, this is the big fellow. The big back is Michael Bush. And Michael Bush is out near midfield. McFadden not out there. That's Bush getting the carry, Mike.
And for all the talk we're going to do about Jamarcus Russell, this is what the Raiders want to do. They want to run the ball. They don't want to rely on the arm just yet. You see Sean Merriman coming up the field and then sliding down. Didn't close down the way he should. Opened up the cutback lane. And big Michael Bush, who had a great end of the season, 177 yards against Tampa Bay, starts out with a nice run cutting back.
17 yards on the game for Bush, 1st and 10. And here's McFadden. Slips and falls, but you can already see a nice change of pace with the big bruiser in Bush and the speedy McFadden. Justin Fargas is out. 2nd and a short one. Right up the middle behind Oren O'Neal, and they've got it easily. Raiders moving the ball nicely early. Look at the nice push up front.
Well, you know, again, this is the way they want to go. It's a big offensive line, a much maligned offensive line the last 2 years, but they were 10th in rushing last year. Didn't get a lot of pass. Look at the push down the field. Luis Castillo getting pushed to the 2nd level into the linebackers. That's a great job of combo blocking and man blocking. And then you have a big back going right up the gut. They'll stay with this. This will make the play action pass very easy whenever they want to use it.
31 yards. Early offense for the Raiders, all on the ground. And Russell to the air for the first time. Flags are down, and that ball is off the fingertips of Hayward Bay.
That's a big challenge for Jamarcus. Is you can see him make his reads. Ted Tolan, the offensive coordinator, has been working with him all summer.
Number 56, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And Merriman offsides early, Steve.
And making sure, you can see Sean Marion very excited to get back on the field, maybe too excited. But Jamarcus' real challenge is to his footwork and anticipation. Ted Tolan told me before the game that that's what he's been working with mostly this summer, is to be able to anticipate. In college, he just waited with his big body for the LSU receivers to come open, then he hit them. In the pros, you can't wait. You've got to anticipate, and that's been the biggest challenge for Jamarcus. So watch for his anticipation throughout the night, see if he's gotten better at that.
1st and 5 for the Raiders. Russell downfield and well over the head of the rookie Louis Murphy. And that's Bush, and he'll be about 1.5 yards short.
You know, as we look at a possible passing situation, though, they're only a couple of yards with the bruising back. Maybe they'll run, but the pass defense, as you were introducing the defense for San Diego, was horrible last year, 31st in the league. But as Norv Turner said, you don't just look at the DBs for that. That's a direct result of a lack of pass rush without a Sean Merriman in there. So that's on all 11 guys, and that's something they really want to improve upon. Though here I have a feeling we're going to get some straight ahead running.
It's Bush in motion on a 3rd and 2. And it looks like the Raiders may have moved.
They did. Cornell Green, the right tackle, moved. So now it's a passing situation.
False start, number 74. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
What's impressive about this drive is the San Diego defense is exclusively playing 3 deep. We talked about 8 in the box. That means there's only 3 people out of the box for the run game. And all these runs have been essentially right down your throat, San Diego. You put 8 in the box, we will push it. And I think that's what's impressive about this opening drive.
Bad as it got to be an O lineman. The only time your name gets mentioned when you do something wrong.
as they did there. And so now a 3rd and 7, third receiver on the field for the Raiders is Johnny Lee Higgins. Russell over the middle, caught, nice grab by the tight end Miller, and a first down for the Raiders.
The greatest asset for a quarterback is a great tight end. And here you see Zach Miller. He read zone because of the blitz. I mean, he thought it was zone blitz. He almost got himself into trouble by stopping over the middle of the field. But that's where Jamarcus, nice placement of the ball. Hey, believe in me, I'll put it where you're supposed to be going. Jamarcus, a very pro throw right there.
Miller led the team in receiving last year with 56 catches. McFadden behind center, the play action. A lot of time. Oh, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Quentin Jammer down near the goal line, and out he comes. A huge turn of events.
Well, just as you talked about a pro throw, Steve, that was not a pro throw. That was a rollout, and he locked onto his receiver the entire time. You had the corner out there. You had the safety coming over the top.
Nice opening drive for the Raiders, ends without points. An interception by Quentin Jammer, and now we see the San Diego offense for the first time, a 1st and 10 on their own 29. And for the first time tonight, there's LT, but let's go back to the interception.
Well, you look at the route that's being run right here. You're going to watch when the receiver goes to the inside. Let's start it up. And it looks like he's running in almost like he's going to block. And we freeze it there. It looks like he's going in here. And then he's going to come out. And, Steve, what does he do wrong when he comes out?
The route is, because if you're going to come back with leverage from the outside corner, you've got to cut him off. That's the receiver's responsibility. As a quarterback, I'll give you some chances to make a play, Louis Murphy, rookie. But you can't allow Quentin Jammer to eat you to the ball. You got to help protect me.
2nd and 8. San Diego. Vincent Jackson for a short game, setting up a 3rd down. And so here's the San Diego quarterback, Philip Rivers. He's heard the numbers, best numbers ever for a quarterback who didn't make the Pro Bowl, perhaps ready to take a step and become one of the true elite quarterbacks in the NFL if he isn't there already.
You know, Mike, I agree. I mean, he's always going to be coupled with Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning coming out of the same draft. I don't know that he doesn't have the greatest upside. That's no knock on Eli or Ben. Tremendous quarterbacks. It's hard to even say that, but Philip, I think, is coming into his own. We might be talking about him as an artist, as a quarterback, fellow quarterback, saying, you know what, Philip Rivers has maybe the chance to be the greatest of that group.
3rd down. Rivers has time, and he has a man and overthrows him. Overthrows Antonio Gates, and so a 3 and out on San Diego's first possession.
That's a nice job by that Raider defense. No doubt about it. The artist. Philip Rivers overthrew him there.
No art there.
You see,
In fact, he's open. You see Antonio Gates going to come across the field. He's open, and he just overthrows him. Now, I will say this as a quarterback's perspective. I'm not making excuses for the quarterback, but a lot of those angles early in the season where you're supposed to be coming across, deeper angles, that's what first games are all about, is finding that correct angle and being on what you call the glorious same page.
Let him go, let him go, let him go, let him go.
Mike Cyphers doing the punting. Johnny Lee Higgins calling for a fair catch and does. And the Raiders now their 2nd possession inside their own 20. And there's McFadden. And McFadden with some good power. Tom Cable, we had a chance to sit with him the other day. There was nothing Hollywood about him. He's an old offensive lineman. There is nothing less Hollywood than an offensive lineman. He's a football guy through and through, and he believes.
He says that he's a milk farmer. So, I didn't really know what that meant when he got out with the cows early, but he's a fundamental guy, and he's no holds barred. I actually bought into the Kool-Aid when I was sitting with him, that he's got this team playing more fundamentally sound.
2nd and short. This time it's Bush.
Oh, it's a nice play by Sean Phillips, filling a hole there. And, you know, Oakland came out running that first series, and if they can continue success with that, it's certainly going to help them. And help Jamarcus Russell leading on the pass, but Phillips, again, he had to take the lion's share last year when Merriman was out. See him fight off the block of Zach Miller, and then does a nice job going low and not letting McFadden get any extra yards at all. Nice defensive play.
And it was McFadden, it was McFadden on the play, and so now a 3rd and short. They'll run for it, and they'll get it. And more. McFadden, who is bigger when you stand next to him. You know how fast he is, but he also can run with some power.
I tell you what I'm impressed with the Raiders, Steve. They're going up the gut. I mean, this is we're going to block you, we're going to punch you in the mouth, and we're going to gain yards straight ahead.
If we counted those defenders, you'd see 8. In the NFL, when you have 8 in the box, theoretically you are outmanned, and you should not be able to do that. I think that you're getting these huge gaps because there's over pursuit by that defense, over energized maybe the first couple of drives of the season, and the San Diego Chargers are getting hurt that way.
First down. Russell will throw. Over the middle, wide open is the tight end again, Zach Miller. And a nice gain down inside the 35.
Oh, it really looked like Kevin Burnett, the linebacker, got kind of lost in space there, and Zach Miller found the free spot. And a great job. Look at the time. The key here is look at all the time he has. Nobody in his face at all. Zach Miller comes free. Look at Burnett, 99, kind of spins around and loses focus where Zach Miller is. Zach Miller, huge open right in the middle of the field.
Nice start for the Raider offense with the exception of the one mistake on a batter out by the rookie wide receiver. And so a first down inside the 35. McFadden again, and they're running right. You notice they're running right behind Cornell Green and Cooper Carlisle, and they're having great success.
You know, we talked about
way.
Tom Cable earlier. He talked about, you know what, I came in, this team was not good at anywhere. I took the offensive line and I turned them around, and I made them, you know, a much better unit. And that's how his philosophy is, turning the whole Raider organization around, is if I could do it with the offensive line, I can just do it organizationally wise. So the offensive line is his baby, and when they play well, he tends to say that's the beginning of the Raider coming back from where they've been the last few years.
McFadden again, another hole, this time the left side, and another Raider first down.
Just chunks of yardage they're eating up. The D-line is ending back by the linebackers. You got a nice fullback, Orrin O'Neal, leading up the charge. Watch the fullback with the lead block right into the chest of the defender. And that's what you want. You want a running back going straight ahead, going downhill. Very easy, very tough to stop them in their tracks that way. So even when they're getting hit, they're falling forward for another couple of yards.
Two tight ends now for the Raiders, who are having great success running the ball. Michael Bush is the tailback on first down. Play action. Russell with time, Russell with a man. And down he goes. It's Tony Stewart. He's still on his feet, and he's inside the 10. It'll be first and goal for the Raiders.
Well, that's a nice play from a second-year guy. Down in the red zone, don't make the big mistake. You're getting protected well. Read. You'll see Jamarcus comes off. Downfield. I don't necessarily like the technique of falling back and throwing, but when you're so strong, you can get away with that. You don't want to teach that, but Jamarcus does so many things, Mike, that you can't teach. You know, if you watch that body, it's amazing.
Raiders did not score a touchdown in the first quarter last year until the 14th game of the season. They have a first and goal here. Bush that time, and not much there. Stephen Cooper on the tackle.
Yeah, and again, remember their first drive, they moved it down as well. It was a turnover that stopped that. So second and goal. If they were to cash in here, gang, it would be an 84-yard drive. They only had 2 touchdown drives of 80 yards or longer last season. That was the fewest of any team in the NFL, and I hope I just didn't give them the broadcaster curse right there. But what a beautiful drive this is right now.
3 receivers on the field now. Hayward Bay and Murphy, the rookies, plus Johnny Lee Higgins. Second down. Swing. McFadden still fighting. Excuse me, that's Bush. Eric Weddle with the play.
Eric Weddle, again, you mentioned him earlier, was on the field for every play last season. That was a hit and hang on for dear life as he was getting run over by Michael Bush. Watch, Weddle does a nice job coming up and filling. He's 200 pounds. Michael Bush is 245. Comes up, fills, and hits, and then tries to hang on. He does hang on well, I'll give him credit. But he went backward and Bush went forward.
All right, and a big play early, I think, for this young Raider offense. Third and goal. They'll run it. Touchdown. The Raiders get on the board early, and this place explodes. Raider Nation looking for something to get excited about, and Michael Bush gives it to him right off the bat.
And this is down your throat football. We don't care. We know that we're not going to do much on offense. We're not going to be really multi-dimensional. We're going to run the football, but we don't care. Put 11 up there. We will throw it. We will put it right down your throat. That's exactly what we saw this last couple minutes.
No question, the story early has been the performance of the Raider offensive line. They've dominated in both offensive possessions. This Monday, the Raiders are out in front early, but here comes Darren Sproles, and look out! Darren Sproles has just the kicker to beat, and he beats him. Will they catch him? Yes, they will. But Darren Sproles with a huge run back. Sproles, who was brilliant in the postseason for the Chargers last year, with a huge return for the Chargers to give them outstanding field position. But the Raiders went 10 plays, 84 yards, and the Chargers have outstanding field position in Raider territory in a 1st and 10 for Phillip Rivers. LT trying to get outside.
It's there. Shocking statistic. Last year, the San Diego Chargers, all that offensive talent, only the Cleveland Browns with the Chargers in the regular season, the only teams to not score on their opening drive the whole year. Continue that tonight. And, you watch the tape with LaDainian Tomlinson. Do you notice as these guys come back from long breaks, injuries, it takes time to actually get back into the football game and really break on all of those injuries. It's just difficult to have that. Preseason's one thing, regular season's another.
2nd down, 6 for the Chargers. Rivers rolling. That's Vincent Jackson.
Norv Turner thinks Vincent Jackson just caught that last ball, could jump into the top 5 of wide receivers this year. He's that high on him.
1st down at the 21. And the pocket eventually breaks down, and welcome to Oakland, Richard Seymour.
He's introducing himself to the teammates there. Well, you get in the red zone. Phillip Rivers should know better. Come off of play action. The pocket starts to break down. It's time now to either get out or get rid of it.
Marcus McNeil working on Richard Seymour. These two guys obviously know each other well. San Diego and the Patriots having faced off in so many big games.
Chris Thielman came over to help as well. And again, Phillip Rivers held on to the ball too long.
That's a quarterback sack right there. That ball needs to come out, especially in the red zone. Timing is such that McNeil knew that that ball should have been gone.
Big play. And Tomlinson gets some of it back on 3rd and 13 for the Chargers. All kinds of movement.
Well, Phillip Rivers going with the hard count, trying to get the Raiders to jump offside. And you see Richard Seymour now is lined up at left end. He's already been at right end, left end. He's been a D tackle on the last play and helped out on that draw play on the tackle. So doing just what he did.
Encroachment, number 61, defense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
It's Gerard Warren.
Gerard Warren. So he's doing just what he did in New England, being very versatile.
Please set the game clock to 40 seconds. 4-0, please.
Being versatile up and down the line, and you know what? Listen, I've been in that spot.
Thank you.
I came in the league as a nose tackle, and they say you're right over the ball.
How could you?
How do you jump when
just
you're right
watch the ball?
Yeah, well,
I know
it's easier said than done. You know, we're not artists like you quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know. Defensive line's a whole nother thing. Point and go.
Yeah, I'll stop.
I'm sorry.
3rd down. That's LT.
Fumble.
Not going to get it. Ball's loose. Looks like the Raiders have it. They had 2 men in there.
They got it.
Raiders think they have it.
Well, you never know what goes on in that pile down there. Gerard Warren had a chance to get it. He didn't.
I see an official pointing the Raiders' direction. It's Raiders ball, a 2nd turnover, both of them coming in the red zone. The Raiders had 1, and now the Chargers have 1 of their own. The Raider defense holds as LT gives it away. Back in Oakland, and that is the first fumble LaDainian Tomlinson has lost since week 7 of the 2006 season. Almost 1,000 touches between fumbles the Chargers had lost.
He didn't really get it stripped there. He just got hit right on the arm with the ball. I'm sure he's taking
like
it
it was out of his vision from behind, and you might not have seen him.
And so the Raiders will take over and running the ball again and running for some hard yards. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. A very nice first quarter for an Oakland Raider team looking for a little respect, looking to give their fans something to cheer about. And they did both of those. Start of the second quarter in Oakland. That's not a happy LaDainian Tomlinson. First lost fumble for LT in 993 touches. And a first quarter totally dominated by the Raiders, outgaining the Chargers 135-17. Second down 5. They'll stay on the ground, and they've run the ball very effectively. Russell in the shotgun on 3rd and 3. Going to run for it, and it's going to be close.
He got it. He got it because he's 6'6".
And he looks bigger when you're standing next to him.
It's scary, but that's a fundamentally sound quarterback play there. I'm going to move up in the pocket, up, up, up. I don't see anybody. You'll see in the replay. He's downfield. 1, 2, move up in the pocket, up in the pocket, tuck it away, go for the first down. Very fundamental. That, Tom Cable going back the first 4 days, I'm sure that was one of the things they'd covered in the first 4 days for Jamarcus Russell.
See him stretching there for the first down. Raiders now 4 for 4 on 3rd downs in the early going. 1st and 10. And again, running for some positive yardage is McFadden. Stephen Cooper on the tackle.
Again, getting 3-4 yards to pop, and they'll keep after it now. Up to 90 yards rushing already. And boy, Steve, as you know as a quarterback, a great rushing game is your best friend. When play action pass, you're buying more time.
Well, especially, Mike, with this situation with a young quarterback, young receivers, they have to run the football. If they can't run the football, they really don't have a chance right now. But with this running game, you saw play action all the time that Jamarcus Russell had. Now that gives them much more multi-dimensional chances.
2nd down. Russell got a little too hard and almost intercepted. And Stephen
So this
Cooper
is like
with a
as
big
a
hit.
coaching tape. Well, in the next couple hours, we'll just have some fun coaching here. But as a young quarterback, you get out of the pocket flushed against your ball hand, right? A right-hander now is going to start moving left. The last thing you ever want to do is throw back against your body across the field in the NFL. I won't say never works, but I'm going to say it never works, and you're going to get somebody killed.
You think McFadden's going to say,
not again.
A little lower next time, huh?
3rd and 6. That's Michael Bush in the backfield now for the Raiders. They dump it down. Flag is down. First down, but let's see what the penalty is as Bush makes the catch.
I like the throws. I like the throws. Not trying to do anything crazy down the field. Let's see if it's going to hold.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 players in motion prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 3rd down.
These are exactly the sort of mistakes the Raiders have been making for years, and it's exactly what Tom Cable says he wants to stop doing.
And that's why I think going back to the beginning of training camp, we're going to keep motion down. We're not going to get fancy. We're going to stay very basic so we don't get in those situations. Here all of a sudden you get motion, 2 guys moving, 2 young players. That's the thing that he's most worried about, is they ask these young players to do too much. Even though it seems simple, they've got to keep it. And the Chargers talked about it yesterday in meetings. They said the Raiders will keep it very basic.
3rd and long. Going long. No one there, but flags are down. He was looking at his rookie wide receiver, Darius Hayward-Bay, who was taken down in a lot of contact.
Well, a flag right there, maybe illegal contact downfield. Remember, you only have 5 yards as a defender to hit.
Prior to the pass. Illegal contact. Number 23. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
You know, just another rule change made a while ago to benefit the offense, Steve. That's usually how it works in the NFL. You can't jam past 5 yards. Here you see the jam. He's hanging on a little. Oh, you know.
Can't argue with that one.
What do you mean can't argue? That's awful.
That's an awful call?
Play. Are you kidding me? He wasn't jamming him. He was still blocking him like he was blocking him from the beginning.
He was holding him.
It was blocking him.
He was engaged from the line of scrimmage. I think that it's probably iffy.
At best.
One way or another, it's a first down for the Raiders. And back to the ground they go. And this time, it's bottled up.
You know, here's my thought. Okay, if you want the 5-yard rule, fine. But if a defensive player engages before the 5 yards and they stay engaged, that should be fine. They shouldn't have to let it go. Look, he's engaged right now, and he never breaks off the engagement. He's staying right there, right on. There should be nothing.
But what you see right at the end there is the arm hook.
They didn't call a hold, though. They called a chuck down the field.
That's what the official is going to say. He engaged too long. The arm hook, he didn't call a hold. If he hadn't have hooked him at the end, I bet you he would have let it go.
It's an awful call. I need to talk to the commissioner. Greeny, get him on the line.
It's an awful rule, you're saying.
Yes,
the call was correct.
Well, I don't even know about that.
Second down.
I'm not giving on to that.
Blitz coming. Nice job by Russell of getting rid of it. And Michael Bush out near the 30-yard line.
What you see, Mike, here for the Raiders, when he drops back to pass, they're either going to cut the field in half so that he does not have to read the full field read, or they're going to have a little quick screens, things that are really easy for Jamarcus Russell to handle. Well, you want to make an easy completion for a quarterback? Screen. Screen, screen, screen. Cut the field in half on play action. That's what you're going to see most of tonight.
By the way, nice job by Michael Bush. He saw Gallery coming out late, and he kind of let Gallery set up the block and went behind it. They're really, really in sync right now offensively.
Another third down for the Raiders. Russell. Time, a man, and he's got him. A tight end again, Zach Miller, and another first down, another third down conversion.
Well, you mentioned Zach Miller earlier, 56 catches last year, the first tight end to catch 50-plus passes since Ethan Horton in 91, and this is the quarterback's favorite target, isn't it,
So
Steve?
funny here. You know, it's like going back to the beginning of football. It's man, single safety man. You don't see it a ton now. All this newfangled zone blitz defenses, it seems like the Chargers are matching the Raiders by staying so fundamental. Man, free safety, tight end beats him across the field. One-on-one, simple stuff.
17-yard gain on 3rd and 6, and another first down for Oakland. McFadden.
Blitz that time.
Caught from behind by Stephen Cooper, the Chargers' leading tackler a year ago.
Yeah, that time they did a run blitz, and it certainly worked. As you look at how they dispersed the ball last year, your tight end leads the way, as we just mentioned, 56, and then a running back is next. Johnny Lee Higgins with 22. You cannot have your wide receiver.
I want to say, since I don't know what the stat was, 22 leading receiver, 22 catches is the lowest that
by a wide receiver
in the history of the game, or since
in the 16-game schedule.
They played with leather helmets.
22.
Maybe. I don't know.
That was Jerry Rice in a
good half.
Yeah.
When you were quarterbacking. Huh?
That's why they drafted Darius Hayward-Bay. Here comes McFadden. Got a hold of it.
Lost the ball.
Looked like the ball came out. It did.
Sure did.
There's the scrum. And the Chargers do have it. That's our 3rd turnover in just the first 21 minutes of play.
Well, that ball just must got knocked out of his hand because he just kept running. I mean, it just got picked clean.
You would expect the reaction of a back.
Exactly.
I don't have the ball anymore. Maybe if I keep running and faking them out, someone else can pick it up for me.
I don't think he realized it for about 2 or 3 yards.
So Oakland has dominated, but 2 turnovers. Their lead is just 7-0. San Diego takes over in Raider territory. LT out of the room.
So we've seen Richard Seymour in a number of positions early in this game. You know, Tom Cable said, well, and we asked him, how are you going to play him? He said, no, we're going to play him. We're going to play him all over the field. You see him at defensive end here making the sack. Really, I put this on Philip Rivers, but staying with the play, getting into the back. He did say when he gave him to the radio, hey, Raider Nation, I'll meet you at the backfield. And then you see him at defensive tackle there. He said that Richard Seymour comes from a system, New England, where they're taught so many things that intellectually as a defensive lineman, he can come in here and play right away multiple different places.
2nd and short. Speaking of short, Darren Sproles, 5'6", one of the 2 shortest players in the National Football League, but an effective little runner.
Yeah, he really is. You know, going back to Seymour, I got a chance to talk to him for about 5-10 minutes before the game as he was signing autographs for Raider Nation, which is just loving him. He is in a contract year, 1 year left on his contract, so I'm sure he's looking for another good payday as well.
Rivers spinning and finding his tight end Antonio Gates for a nice gain.
Here you see single safety again in the league today. You just don't see that much of it. The Raiders playing single safety now, and so Philip Rivers recognizes if I know that I got 3 deep single safety, I'm going to take advantage of that. He does a nice little whirly bird, comes back and makes a nice completion. But you know, an accomplished quarterback like Philip Rivers is going to tear apart a single safety defense.
Happy to have a guy like that back and healthy again. Antonio Gates.
5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, first down San Diego. Play action, and they'll swing it out this time. And this is the big fella, Brandon Manu Maliuna. And not much there this time. Tyvon Branch sniffing it out.
That's a 205-pounder tackling a 300-pounder. I mean, that is what you call open field tackling. That was very, very impressive.
The problem with that play is the blocker gets out way ahead of the receiver.
Right.
So the defender can't, he can play both ends for a little while. Now can sneak around. You'll see here, the blocker's so far out that the defender can get out
that tackle.
in front of him.
Come and forget all that. Look at the tackle, Steve. That's a 200-pound quarterback.
You know what?
Tackling a 300-pound man.
Our old offensive lineman used to say, Coach Bob McKittrick used to say, everyone's knees the same size.
2nd and 12. Sproul! And he is decked by Chris Johnson.
Wow, well, we're seeing some hitting now. First Branch, the safety. Now Johnson, the corner. Well, you know what? Why don't you just all take a listen to this one. Hear how it sounds. Oh, that'll wake you up.
When you have man-to-man and the back safety valve back is not on the move, that other defender's just waiting for him. You get that kind of a collision.
Darren Sproles only weighs 180 pounds. 3rd and long. Rivers
Got him.
wobbling, but he's got it. I did not see either official rule touchdown.
No,
It's
got him
to me
down
like
at the
it might have
1.
snuck in, but they're going to put it down inside the 1-yard line.
Lost the ball right at the end, but he was already down. I think they're saying his knees were down at the 1.
24-yard gain on a 3rd and 12 on a nice ball over the middle that fluttered out of the hand.
It did, but he's standing in the pocket because he was getting harassed, and they're, again, happy to have him back, Gates. Yeah, you see the knees are down before he crosses the line of
Those
scrimmage.
that watched the first game in New England, the 4th quarter, this is the 3rd time you've seen that route almost for a touchdown. The first 2 Tom Brady threw against cover 2 down the middle of the tight end.
First down inside the 1. LT.
He's in.
Touchdown. Touchdown, San Diego. The official on this side of the field ruling touchdown. Everyone else seems uncertain.
But he's kind of milling around. Now they're going to talk about
Well,
it.
you just need 2 arms to go up in the air, and I saw 2. Let's take a look at it. Did he get in?
Yep, they're calling touchdown. Get a nice view here. Ball just has to cross. Oh, and he's on his back.
Yeah.
He's on his back, and the ball is at his waist, and his waist is on the line. Tough to tell from this angle.
I'll tell you, I thought Gates was in on the play before, and I didn't think Tomlinson was in here.
Inevitably, when a guy gets tackled running full speed like Antonio Gates was, inevitably that knee goes down when they're reaching for the end zone. That's why they always pull it back a half a yard to 3/4 of a yard.
One way or another, it's a touchdown, San Diego. Kading's extra point is up and good, and so we are tied inside 5 minutes to go in the first half. Lewis Rankin deep to return for the Raiders. Out over the 20 and not much further than that. Well, the Raiders have their 2 much-touted wide receiver rookies on the field. Their wide receivers tonight have no receptions for Oakland tonight. That was their problem a year ago. Jamarcus Russell off to a good start. Hasn't found a wide receiver yet. All right, 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Russell. And it's dropped on the outside. Would have been the first catch for a wide receiver. Would have been the first catch for Darius Hayward-Bey. It's 3 catches for 58 yards tonight. Whistles again before the snap.
You know, my old buddy Brent Jones, who played tight end for the Fort Annish for many years, used to say, you don't know how hard it is to play tight end. One play I have to block
First
down.
charge timeout, Oakland.
Raiders called a quick timeout. Here's Darren McFadden trying the left side and finding good yardage there. Robert Gallery, by the way, the left guard, came off the field a short time ago with a bad back, and so Samson Satelli is out there now.
Yeah, he went to center, and Chris Morris, who was a center, went over to left guard, and still that O-line is getting a great push. And, you know, for the San Diego defense, they did pretty well last year, right outside. They were 11th in stopping the run. It was that pass defense they were concerned about. Right now, they don't have to worry about that. They got to worry about getting punched again right in the mouth. Look at the O-linemen staying on their blocks. That's a win. A defensive person's goal is to engage, disengage, and make the tackle. You stay on blocks, you lose, offense wins.
Third down. Russell was waiting for the rookie Louis Murphy to become unengaged. Murphy not able to do it, still have not had a completion to a wide receiver, and the Raiders will have to punt.
San Diego defense basically saying single safety, will man up. You can't get the ball to those wide receivers man to man, and we can now put extra pressure on the quarterback. You see Darius Hayward-Bay. Oh, I'm sorry, that's
Louis Murphy.
Louis Murphy.
Trying to engage on the slant, and you know, you're going up against a couple of very experienced corners.
Getting jammed at the line too is really not letting these guys get into their routes. Shane
Lechler was the highest average in NFL history as a punter, 46.8 yards. Second is Sammy Ball. And here's a good kick. Sproles makes one miss, makes another miss, but won't make everybody miss. Loses yardage on the play. Good special teams from the Raiders. Trevor Scott among those down there making the play. Quiet start for Phillip Rivers, who had the best quarterback rating of anyone in the National Football League last year. Steve, they can be explosive offensively. Haven't shown much of it tonight in Oakland.
Not really. We talked to him yesterday. You know, he's known for being a little chirpy. You know, he gets into little arguments with the defense and the fans. Talked to him about it yesterday. He said, you know, I need that. It's kind of part of my competitive nature. And LT kind of said as well that that's part of his personality that gets him going.
Rivers on a first down. Darren Sproles trying the left side. And the Raiders are there. They bottle it up. Nnamdi Asomugha coming up on run support.
Well, I tell you, Asomugha is a guy that you don't want to throw at because he's an excellent cover corner, but he plays run support just as well. It's what he wants to be, an all-around corner. You see a nice job, defense stringing it out. And here comes Asomugha, makes a nice one-on-one tackle. That's what you have to be able to do. That's against a guy who's got some moves in Sproles.
Asomugha, a Pro Bowler last year, despite making only one interception. That's how much respect he gets. 2nd and 13 for the Chargers. Sproles again. A little bit of room. It's still going to be 3rd and long. And Nnamdi Asomugha, one of those guys, Steve Young, that quarterbacks just stay away from. Takes away almost half the field.
Yeah, you know, and speaking to him on Saturday as well, he seemed like a guy that wanted to do more, wanted to be more multidimensional. But going back to Tom Cable, what we talked about with him, fundamentals. And so he's going to be a little frustrated here.
A 30-second timeout.
Because he'd like to do more, but they need to start playing great football, and they can grow into Nnamdi's potential or capabilities.
How much respect does this guy get? He goes one interception and goes to the Pro Bowl. One interception. I mean, that's the respect he has around the league, and you only get a chance for one interception, and don't throw you away an awful lot.
Raiders calling their 2nd time out of the half. Steve, when you were playing quarterback, was Dion a guy like that? Was he a guy who would take away half the field?
There's guys that you just didn't want to toy with too much because they defied your eye. I speak to Dion particularly because you would throw a ball that you thought was going to be just fine, and he would accelerate, and that's what those corners can do, turn and accelerate beyond your natural eye. It actually makes you say, wait a second, did I see what I just saw? I started to stay away from certain guys. Dion certainly one of them. Why go there? Well, there's plenty other places to go, Michael.
And so a 3rd and long for the Chargers, deep in their own territory. Rivers up and over the top and incomplete, looking for Chris Chambers, and the Chargers will have to punt. The Raiders will get another chance. Michael Huff was there on the coverage.
Well, we haven't seen receivers on either side of the ball get anything yet for the Raiders and their rookies, or for the veterans here in San Diego. They haven't really gotten involved. To see the passes up a little high. Receiver going up Chambers with one hand trying to pull it down. Maybe could have gone up with 2, but a high ball that takes him out of bounds.
And so Mike Cyphers, this is a game with 2 excellent punters, but Cyphers punted only 51 times all of last year, and here's a great kick. Wow. Johnny Lee Higgins back near his own 20-yard line, but he's got room up the middle. And a good return out over the 35, so the Raiders with decent starting position. From the 35, they hand it off inside.
You know, Coach Cable did say that last year they opened up the playbook about 40% of it to Jamarcus. This year, 80%. They've doubled it. So that tells you the kind of progress they think he's made since last year.
They've gone over 100 yards rushing. No need to change it up if it's working. Russell This time throws it outside, and there it is, the first catch by a wide receiver. It's the rookie, Louis Murphy. Remember, they started 2 rookies on the outside tonight, Murphy and Darius Hayward-Beck. Jamarcus Russell and the Raiders looking to break a 7-7 tie with the Chargers inside 2 minutes to go in the first half. Russell, the ball flutters out of his hand, incomplete. Second down. Russell, ball looked like it was tipped.
Here's the issue with him, Steve, and young quarterbacks, you worry about turnovers. But with Jamarcus, he only threw 8 interceptions last year. His issue is accuracy. He only completed 53% of his passes. He's got the gun arm, he can throw it 80 yards, but it's accuracy that's killing him right now. He's not throwing it to the wrong team, he's just throwing it nowhere.
Well, and that had a nice window there to make that completion. That was way off. So it looks to me by his body language that he expected something different, but by the route runner, I felt like maybe he missed that one by a long mile. But you know, clearly the first game is all about angles, as I talked about, between receiver and quarterback, and it's just hard to know exactly what he expected that receiver to do.
And so a third down. Russell, he's got a man this time, and he's got the first down. And they'll move the chains.
Can you imagine how hard he could throw it if he threw it going forward instead of falling back? I mean, he just throw an 18-yard comeback falling backwards on a rope.
Looks like they'll clock it, and they will. They do have the 1 timeout remaining and a first down. Louis Murphy, the man who made the catch, and so he's gone there twice, but there's more yellow on the field.
Couple of flags out there.
Racing up to clock it. See if everyone got set in time.
They're counting men. I think they're counting defenders for San Diego.
Norv doesn't look happy.
There's no foul for defense, 12 men. The 11th player was the player coming off the field.
They decided to play with 10. I was just counting. I said, I think there's only 10.
They're trying to play with 10.
Is it a penalty to play with 10? No, it's not
just a disadvantage.
Referee. All right, so here's this last play. Watch Jamarcus Russell. I have never done this, by the way. I played 30 years of my life football.
This is the number of players they had on the field.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Correct him out, then they wanted to go down 1. They're trying to put a little more on him.
And so a second down after they stop the clock on first. Ball's out. Ball's there. Another first down for the Raiders. And they have more than enough time. No need to rush.
No, not at all. They have 1 timeout. There's a minute 15 to go.
Yeah.
They have plenty of time. They don't need to clock it here. Call a play.
That they do. Russell on a first down. And he's very fortunate that one was not picked off by Stephen Cooper.
That's a problem when the defensive lineman's yelling, no, well before he releases it. That's where Jamarcus needs to be careful. Look, I don't mind if you lock on to a tight end, a back, but you cannot lock in post 15 yards in this league and let the ball go, because there's a linebacker cutting underneath. It's impossible.
It's Stephen Cooper on that one. I mean, he absolutely should have caught that ball. And Steve, you are so right. The farther down the field, the less obviously you can lock onto that receiver. I mean, Stephen Cooper just read his eyes, just rolled that way, and should have had an easy pick.
This time they'll run it. And they move the ball again. That's Michael Bush. And so inside of a minute we go, and it'll set up a third down.
And this is the biggest challenge for a young quarterback, is in the red zone. Everything gets compressed, difficult decisions. You've got to be much quicker.
Third and final charge timeout.
And they use the timeout
Oakland.
there.
A 30-second timeout.
That strikes me as a strange time to use the timeout.
I'm a little surprised they went to the run there, almost like they were setting up possibly for a field goal instead of going. It's almost like they don't want to make a mistake here and try and come away with some points.
Think about what the Raiders are doing.
Yeah.
Think about the coaching staff. Okay, guys, if we're not going to try to get too elaborate, let's run the football 3rd and 5. Let's take a timeout, get everybody's breath, let them know exactly what their assignments are going to be. If you're going to start from scratch, like Tom Cable talked about, this is exactly what you're talking about here. Take your time, take the kind of inopportune timeout to make sure everybody knows exactly what to do.
Can you win when you protect your quarterback that much?
It's hard, but I don't know that look. I think that they've got to be very careful and make sure that they're in the game right now. They're looking for a big play, maybe get into the fourth quarter and let Jamarcus make a big play, continue to run the football. I don't know that you can ask so much, Mike. You can't overextend a kid or you're going to hurt your team.
They have time here to use the whole field, get the first down, and kill the clock, and still try and get it in the end zone.
3rd down, 5 inside. 1 minute to play in the first half. Russell goes to the end zone. Touchdown!
So there's the timeout. Get everybody on the same page and drill one into the back of the end zone.
Louis Murphy, the rookie, with his first NFL touchdown, and the Raiders retake the lead.
Boy, I just talked about his accuracy, and there he goes, basically saying, hey, Golic, shut up. I can throw with some accuracy. Takes it over the linebackers and in front of Steve Gregory, the safety. Nice throw, right on the money. Excellent 2-minute drive by the Oakland Raiders and Jamarcus Russell.
A lot of attention paid to Darius Hayward-Bay, whom they drafted 7th, but they're actually very high on this rookie Louis Murphy as well.
While they're
look at something.
Interestingly, Tom Cable said that Chaz Schillens is the one he sees as their best receiver right now. So that just tells you how many. And he said from last year to this year, we have got to get some receivers. We cannot put our quarterback in the spot he was last year.
And Schillens inactive tonight.
Need to see what exactly is they're looking at.
Here we go. Again, the pass over the backers and under the safety. Let's see what they're
nice corner
catch.
He gave the corner look, turned his head.
Did that ball come out?
Did the ball come out? Now he caught it, but he was in the air. And you have to wait till they come down. When he came down, watch the ball.
He's got 2 feet. He's going to be okay.
Did he have control of the football? Watch this. As he goes down, it looks like it might come out.
It's starting to slide. One, two.
It's over. It's good. Good catch.
Hits and slide. No,
I think he's got it.
That's a
catch.
touchdown.
That's an easy catch.
I tell you, when I said the emphasis about a great 2-minute drive, it's because they had to throw the ball more there. They've lived this half by running and controlling the clock, and there they were tested.
But the key for the rest of the year for the Raiders is to come out every week and be able to dominate at the line of scrimmage, run the football. You see the catch there. Run the football, because otherwise they're going to be in a jam, because they get long 3rd downs, and ask Jamarcus Russell to continually convert long 3rd downs is going to be impossible early in his career.
I'd be very surprised if they overturn this.
I'd be stunned if they overturn this.
Well, no, that would be wrong. and we're never wrong.
Well, actually, we are wrong.
There's a guy who can't be in a good mood, guys, is Norv Turner.
No.
San Diego coming in with all these expectations. They've won 11 straight against the Raiders, and let's say it, they've not looked good tonight at all, not on either side of the ball.
You know, when we just talked about how Russell had to throw there, and we talked with Sean Merriman coming back, could they get that pass rush back they've had a couple of years ago, and we haven't seen it tonight. Again, he has possession. There's one down. There's 2 down. And
clear possession, 2 down. It's over. Doesn't matter now.
As he goes to the ground, you see the ball hit
and
start to slide. He looks like he still has his arm partway under it. I don't think there's any way they can overturn it.
The play is over in the end zone when the second foot comes down. I don't believe you have to go to the ground in the end zone to finish the play.
I believe if it were a play going out of bounds,
you've got to have control. 2 feet down, I believe, in the end zone finishes that play.
Well, we're going to see how well you know you.
Yeah, we're going to find out right now.
You're a quarterback. You're supposed to be the smart one, so I'm going to leave this to you.
I'll act like I know what I'm talking about. We'll find out.
Say it with
certainly taking their time looking at it. If it's a touchdown, it's a 10-play, 64-yard drive and a 19-yard score for Murphy, who, if this one stands up, caught 3 balls for 44 yards.
I don't know that even if you said you have to take it all the way to the ground.
I agree. He has
control all the way to the ground.
His arm I'm with you.
I don't know how you look at that any other way.
I'm with you. Even the ball looks like it slides. It looks like his arm is still enough under it.
Still playing.
I don't think it's enough. Again, it's got to be
clear
and absolute right. Yeah. But they are taking a while. Here we go.
Here we go.
As part of the process of making the catch, the receiver was going to the ground. He lost possession as he went to the ground. Therefore, the pass is incomplete. It will be 4th down on the 19-yard line.
I think even under that scenario, I don't agree with that.
See,
I don't even look. I understand that it moved,
Right.
but he still controlled it.
So now we know he had to go
So
down.
now I was
That's
wrong
okay.
on the rule for
You know,
sure.
it won't be the first time, but still, when he goes down, I know the ball slides, but I still thought his arm was under it. Now the point hits, but his arm is still
He's
under
still got
it there.
control of it.
And then
from that angle.
we lose sight of it.
One way or another,
Wow.
the call is overturned. The touchdown comes off the board, and Sebastian Janikowski comes on the field to attempt the field goal.
If the ball moves, does that mean you've lost control?
I would
don't
think
know
so.
that it means that you've lost control just because it moves.
37-yard attempt is up, and it sneaks in, and so the Raider lead is 10-7. And so instead of a 19-yard touchdown pass to Louis Murphy, the Raiders get a 37-yard field goal from Sebastian Janikowski and lead it 10-7 with 40 seconds left to play in the first half here in Oakland against San Diego. Steve Young, I think you disagree with the call. I think we all thought if indisputable evidence is needed to overturn a call.
Yeah, well, it
That
depends
one
on
looked
what
awfully
look,
close.
to going to the ground, if that's the rule all the way to the ground, then ball does move. But does the ball moving tell you that he's lost control?
Yeah.
De facto, I say it doesn't necessarily be the case.
I agree
You
with
can
you.
still control
Yeah.
the ball even though it moves.
I would agree.
Either way, we don't get to make that decision.
No, we don't.
And so the Raider lead is 10-7 instead of 14-7, and the Chargers have less than a minute to do anything about it. Here's a guy who can do something
He's got a
about it.
hole.
Darren Sproles, his second big return of the night. Janikowski there to push him out of bounds. But Darren Sproles, what a weapon.
It's ridiculous, and everything was going to be based on that return. If he got tackled at the 20-yard line, they were going to run the clock out, I'm sure. And once he got the big return, now they're obviously going for some. Look at the hole here. He doesn't get touched. It's a beautiful job of blocking by the return team, and Janikowski has to knock him out of bounds. Look at this. Nobody in the frame. That's either the Raiders running out of their lanes, but more to the point, I'd say a great job by the kick return team creating that lane.
Darren Sproles, 59 yards on that return. His first one was 66 yards in those momentum changers. Each time the Raiders have scored, Darren Sproles has had a counter punch. And so now excellent field position for the Chargers as they try to get back perhaps a share of the lead or even take the lead before halftime. Rivers dumps it off. Sproles dancing
Trying to get out of bounds.
and does with 24 seconds remaining.
And guys, in a couple series now, we're going to have to find out. LT hasn't been out there. We've seen no LaDainian Tomlinson. Remember, he was talking yesterday about how, he was happy to be healthy. He feels great. Actually played in a preseason game.
Yeah.
Felt he wanted to do that to knock the rust off early. He usually never makes a carry, but he's been on the sidelines for a while.
Sproles on the field. Tomlinson did lose that fumble earlier in the game. Chargers have all three of their timeouts remaining. Second down. Rivers. This one complete to Legadou Nene. And he gets out of bounds. 18 seconds. Now they could take a few shots deep if they want to, Steve, as they're well within field goal range for Nate
I
Kaeding.
love 2-minute drills where you under a minute here. Underneath. 2-minute defenses always give you the underneath. At this point in the field, you could do this now a couple more times and be now where you can take a couple of attacks
well,
to the
they
field. But at 18 seconds, now you're at the breaking point, right?
But they have 3
18
timeouts.
But
They can
18
shoot it in the
seconds is
middle
that breaking point. With the timeouts, you can still go down the field. In the middle of the field.
Rivers, pressure, bobbled, Nene, and they'll need to use a timeout there with 11 seconds.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not really liking the play caller right now.
Well,
Steve, I mean, going outside like this,
That was
3-yard out routes and try and sprint.
Michael, that's a check down. So I mean, look, is that the one that you want? Maybe you make a move, but that's the right thing. You got to drop it off. They definitely wanted to go downfield here, and Philip has worked. He said last week, I worked really hard at being able to get to the backs and be accurate, and that's a great throw in motion. A lot of young quarterbacks can't make it in the league because they can't make that throw in motion in the pocket. That was just dropping it off. That did not intend for that.
Yeah,
That was not the number one choice.
I would agree. It looked like he was looking for Gates down the field. First two definitely looked like they wanted to be just dump offs. I don't know. We'll see if they can take it down again. 2 more timeouts still, so they can still use the entire field. But they are running out with 11 seconds and not too many more shots.
We talk about the Chargers, the most talented, you could say the most talented offense, pound for pound in the league, and this is where they thrive. And this is why you were kind of surprised starting out the first game that they haven't attacked this rated defense more effectively.
Probably time for just one more before a field goal attempt. Rivers in some trouble, and down he goes. They'll get up and call the timeout, and they'll have to kick it from there.
Now look who's there again.
Is that Richard Seymour?
Richard Seymour hanging out there. Tommy Kelly hanging out there.
This is a pretty good group before Richard Seymour came. And I think that what they do is the pride that they got beat down last year with their run defense. With Richard Seymour, you can see Dwayne Board, their coach, my old buddy of the 49ers, has got these guys playing great football, Michael.
He is now lined up at every defensive line position. Right end, right tackle, left end. That time again, coming through a double team as Philip Rivers tried to step up. So this guy has had an immediate impact on this team, but overall this team has been playing extremely well.
Nate Kading will now try and tie it in the final seconds before halftime. 6th-year kicker out of Iowa, is the 2nd most accurate kicker in NFL history behind Mike Vanderjagt. 47-yard attempt for Kading. It's up, plenty of leg, and perfect. And so there's your first half. The Raiders get a touchdown overturned. The Chargers get a big return and are able to even the score. A couple of big run backs by Darren Sproles and one nice pass to Antonio Gates, but really the Chargers have had very little offense in this evening.
Well, you talk about a much maligned group. That defensive line, one of the worst in the league last year at run defense. Sacking the quarterback there a little bit better, but that was where they wanted to really change the nature of this team. And the first half of this game, they dominated. I mean, if you pick one spot where they dominated, it was defensive line. 74 yards total for the San Diego Chargers in the first half.
And I'll say one spot you want to dominate. I'll say both lines. I think the offensive line really stepped it up and controlled. They've almost had the ball twice as long as San Diego, so that San Diego defense isn't getting a lot of rest. And they're getting pushed around. Straight up the middle runs by the Raiders right now. You got to credit that offensive line, and this guy Richard Seymour on the other side, he's been doing his thing like he never left. Just got a different uniform on, playing all the different
But Mike,
positions.
the problem is that couldn't have been better in a way for the Raiders first half, and it couldn't have been worse for the Chargers, and we're 10-10. It tells you the problems the Raiders can have over the full season to hope that things can be that good for them.
This has been the best play for San Diego all night. Darren Sproles on a return, but not this time. Makes a few men miss, but not everybody, as he is buried by Mike Mitchell. So Seymour has been productive. Chargers offense, not such a good start as we begin the second half on a first down at the 15. LT is back. Only 5 carries in the first half. There's his 6th. And they'll take it out over the 25 for a first down.
They really need this. Only 32 yards rushing in the first half. Here it looks like he falls down on his own, doesn't get touched. You're not down, so he's able to get up and keep running. Again, he missed a few of the series coming before halftime there. He actually tripped over a Raider.
You get a sense that he might be on a pitch count,
Which I don't know why he would be.
You get the sense of being very careful with the number of carries he has.
First down. LT again. Eager to prove that at the age of 30 he is not slowing down. That has been the spot where so many running backs in the past have hit the wall.
And you could see we talked about it yesterday. We asked him that question.
Oh, yeah.
He almost came out of his chair.
He did.
And talking about how, look, that's not the number I care about. I'm going to prove you wrong and prove everyone else wrong. And that's great. I think the age is becoming less of a factor at that 30 mark for running backs just because of the nature of how well these guys keep themselves conditioned.
But it's a chip on his shoulder right now. No doubt about that.
Sproles now in the backfield instead of LT on second down. Rivers will throw over the middle, and it's broken up nicely by number 37, Chris Johnson, in on the play.
I tell you, if the Chargers are going to be, the Super Bowl, and we're going to get all the way back, you can't, again, I said it before, man free. Essentially, man-to-man, 7-man rush, and you're going to tell me that you can't get somebody open and deliver that football. This is just basic football. This is
great
first
coverage.
Day of training camp football, man-to-man, old Raider football. It's almost like the throwback jerseys are making them play throwback football.
Luis Vasquez is down. We'll check his condition when we come back.
Well, I clearly could go either way.
3rd and 7. Rivers over the middle. What a catch. That's Legadou Nene with a brilliant grab and a first down for San Diego.
And sometimes when things are not going well, and you need something like that as a spark, because clearly this is a team that is not, this is just pure man-to-man. This is the old Raiders, right? Man-to-man, can you beat me one-on-one? And that's the kind of play that sometimes is the catalyst to getting things finally opened up.
Boy, that is
great
putting the ball way out where either your guy's going to get it or no one's going to get it. The 220-pounder makes the catch from Boise State.
Great coverage on the play by Chris Johnson. Nothing more he could do. That's Tomlinson up the middle, but flags all over the field.
And, you know, and you're right, Steve. I mean, this is a team, this is a Raider team again. One of the things when
False start, number 81, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You know, when I talked to Richard Seymour before the game, we were talking about the scheme, and we weren't saying it in a bad way, but it's not overly complicated. They line up and say, we're going to beat you. As new defensive coordinator John Marshall has said, he said, we have the talent. We just have to work on being in the right place at the right time. They don't change much. They're just what you said, Steve. They're going to man you up and say, our guy is going to beat your guy.
This is 1980s, 1970s Raider football. This is exactly what the defense they played. Single safety, man or zone.
Tomlinson on a 1st and 15. They've bottled him up all night.
Tyvon Branch coming up and making the play there. They really have. What they're doing, the difference is the Raiders are able to get north and south quickly. San Diego is not. This play is supposed to go off tackle, and look, they force him to go east and west farther than he wants to, and then up comes the safety to support on the run and make the play. That's the difference in the running game now. Raiders going north and south quicker than San Diego is.
LaDainian Tomlinson in his career has been dominant against the Raiders. He's run for more yards against the Raiders than any other team and more touchdowns, but he's been quiet tonight. 2nd down. Rivers got his man complete and a first down. And there's Vincent Jackson. We haven't called his name much tonight, but Norv Turner told us last night he thinks he could be a top 5 receiver in the league.
Well, you know, you talk about man-to-man again. It's just a dig route, inside dig route. Make the move, turn back, come back to the football. That time he didn't need to as much, but that's what you're going to get man-to-man, getting some push with the speed and the strength of Vincent Jackson. Again, Coach Turner saying he's going to be a top 5 receiver. You know, you look at what he did last year, some of the stats, and you start to believe that.
Over 1,000 yards last year for Jackson. It's a first down in Raider territory. Tomlinson with a flag down. Taken down by Trevor Scott, but let's check the penalty.
It's going to be holding on the offense. So again, they make the runner go east-west, and then they compound it by holding as well.
Holding, number 63, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's Scott Murkowski, who came in for the injured Luis Vasquez. So that's a backup lineman coming in and getting the holding penalty. You know, just putting San Diego in a bad situation, bad yardage. 63 is the right guard. Looks like it was Tommy Kelly on the inside move. It looked like Murkowski just tackled him.
And really didn't need to, just overran the block.
Exactly right.
Once you've gotten beat, let it go.
Let it go. You try and keep your hand on him as long as you can. As soon as you start to extend it, you're in trouble.
1st and 20. Sproles on the field now in place of Tomlinson. Rivers, yes, gets a whole lot of it back on the completion to Malcolm Floyd.
You know, that's the one thing Norv Turner said is they were going to roll in some different receivers. You know, Chambers and Vincent Jackson the starters, but use Legadou Nene, Malcolm Floyd. He said he wanted to bring in some different guys. Not saying he's unhappy with his starters, but they feel they have a lot of depth and a lot of quality. Again, Malcolm Floyd, 6'5", 2¼ Vincent Jackson, 6'5", 230. Legadou Nene, 6'2", 220. These are big receivers who, if they are covered, can almost do like a basketball forward and get themselves in good position for the ball.
17-yard gain on 1st and 20. Rivers rolling, throwing in the middle and almost intercepted. Coming up on the play was Chris Johnson, who's been busy and almost made the pick.
We talk about, young quarterbacks. Philip, not a young quarterback anymore, 6th year, but You cannot roll to your arm strength side and throw back across your body down the field. You're going to see here, nice play fake. Again, man free safety. I've never seen so much man free safety since
You were playing.
no, that's before that, in the 80s. You cannot throw that ball back across your body. You got to be very, very careful.
And so a third down now. And 3 for the Chargers, and the building's getting loud. Rivers.
Gates.
Over the middle, broken up and intercepted. Picked off by Michael Huff. And another turnover.
He was looking for Gates on the end, and Gates had hit off Gates' hands and popped in the air, and that's always dangerous when that ball stay up in the air.
Tyvon Branch had the coverage on Gates. Ball pops up, and Huff makes the interception.
I thought Gates was going to make this reception. Again, on your right side, goes right off his hands.
And these two AFC West rivals tied up at 10 with 10 minutes to play in the third. Raiders running the football as they have so much of the night, and they've run it effectively, and the Chargers have not. San Diego's only rushed it for 37 yards tonight. Raiders were 31st against the run last year. Russell, a bad ball, and lucky that wasn't intercepted. Quentin Jammer in on the coverage.
A seam post, it's it's a timing route, something that I'm sure that the two of them haven't had a chance to run enough together. It's a tough route to throw. It looks easy, but it's very difficult.
The way it's been going for Russell, the farther he goes down the field, the more difficult you I think Raider fans hold their breath a little bit. And I tell you what, Sean Merriman was flying off the corner to get a piece of Jamarcus Russell. He's going through the fullback on that one, Orrin O'Neal, and I mean, he had a quiet first half. And you know what? I guarantee he knows it. He knows that defense needs to pick it up.
3rd and long.
There he is.
Russell. Merriman's chasing. Throws it up and well over the top.
You know, I got to say, just watching Sean play, he is dragging that leg a little bit. You know, and you'd expect that first game back. And it'll only get better. But that, we always say the bridge year from a knee injury is the first year. The second year, you actually start to feel 100%. He said I said, hey, you can see how he's running. He's kind of dragging that leg.
I agree.
And he's going to have to do that most of this season. And he knows that. The best you can really get in that first year of the knee injury is probably 90%. And that's what his goal will be.
Just doesn't want to admit that. No player.
Well, yeah, he said 90% of him is way over 100 of everyone else.
Missed 15 games in 2008. Here's Darren Sproles. He's had a good night.
Oh, boy.
Breaks a couple tackles there, but won't make it out to the 20-yard line. In Oakland, just over 9 minutes to play, third quarter. Raiders and Chargers tied up at 10, and Phillip Rivers inside his own 20. Play action. Up high, another one of these contested balls. The Raider defense is there.
Bill Walsh used to say football is like boxing, and the better boxer actually connects a quarter of a second faster than the other. And over the whole game, you do that, you contest, and you're a quarter second faster than everybody else in reaction and contesting every play. You're going to win football games. That's better football. That's what Tom Cable talked about yesterday. We need to start playing more fundamentally better football, and that's what's happened tonight. And you couldn't be more energized for the Raiders from where they've come from, just in a fundamental way. I don't know where the wins will come from, but playing better football, certainly tonight you're seeing that defensively.
2nd and 10. A lot of time for Rivers. Now he's flush, and he'll just throw that away. So the Raiders, you might say they're playing something of a vanilla scheme defensively, but it's working.
He wanted Chris Chambers deep on that one, but there was a free safety really, really deep there where there was having none of it, and that's where Rivers looked. So he rolled right, and there was nothing the other way. It was tight end coming out late. Look down the bottom of the screen. You see Chambers doing the corner out, but the free safety is there. Corner on the inside, free safety over the top. It just wasn't there for him.
That's the problem, Mike. When you talk about man free safety, that doesn't mean the free safety has to be line up 30 yards deep or 20 yards deep. But in this case, the Raiders are playing a very deep free safety.
3rd down. Whistle must have blown.
Yeah.
Flags on the field. Loud enough in here we didn't hear it.
Game. Offense.
Oh, he didn't get it
5-yard
off.
penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Boy, how much is this San Diego playing bad and Oakland playing well?
Well, you know what? Is it the players or the coaches? I mean, it's a circular argument. What you do know is that, as I said, everything is being contested physically by the Raiders. And it looks to me like when Phillip Rivers is allowing a delay of game, that's on the quarterback. And it shows that things are a little bit flustered. Whenever I had a delay game, I knew that it was like a sign telling everybody, hey, we're a little overwhelmed here. I'll get back to you in a minute.
You know,
That's Nick Hardwick, who's down. Their center out of Purdue. We'll check his condition when we come back to Oakland in just a moment.
and so Murkowski, who just came in at guard, now moves over to center.
And so on the 3rd and long, the Chargers will run it, and they won't get anything as Darren Sproles is down at the 10-yard line, and they'll have to punt it away. Greg Ellis in on the tackle for Oakland.
You know, 3rd and long, not take it. You get best talent in the league on offense. We talked about it. But 3rd and long, you wouldn't take a shot at this down the field. You're going to hand off, basically an off-tackle play. You got to wonder if there's just, hey, look, let's punt it, take a break, see what we can do. Great defensive play by Greg Ellis.
Chargers losing players on their offensive line. They've not been able to contain that Raider rush much of the evening. Mike Cyphers kicks it away. Another nice kick. Johnny Lee Higgins, he can be dangerous too. And out over midfield, so great starting position for the Raiders. You can feel the energy in the building. As there's Darren McFadden taking it for the short game. All right, Trey, here's Michael Bush on the 2nd down carry, short yardage, and that'll set up a 3rd down for the Raiders.
You see the Raiders trying to cut this game down. You know, they're in it. It's gone as well as they can imagine it going. Now we're going to try to cut this down, run the football, try to make it a few possession game, and make 3rd and short the mantra for this offense. They cannot go 3rd and 10.
What's interesting is coming off a big return like they just had, great field position, a lot of teams would go for a big play right off the bat and strike while they have the momentum. This isn't that team.
This is not that.
This
And
is
it's
not
smart.
right. Yeah, no, you're right.
Really,
They should not have.
Discipline.
I agree.
This is discipline by the Raider coaching staff.
Higgins in motion, 3rd and 5. Russell. Upstairs, all wide open on the play was Darius Hayward-Bay, and Russell just missed him.
He had both of them up and down open for the 1st down. And, you know, that goes back to footwork, timing, and really delivery. You cannot play in the NFL if you're not going to be accurate. I think that he can work in this. He obviously stepped into it nicely, didn't fall back too much. But you know what? Those are the kind of throws that you have to make as a pro, and he knows it. That can really change a ball game.
Boy, you're
I mean, really, especially a tight ball game. That's where the quarterback's
off.
the job for the quarterback is asked a lot.
All right, so Leckler will try and pin the Chargers back deep. That one will bounce inside the 5 and bounce into the end zone. So a very disappointing little sequence for the Raiders. 1st and 10 at the 20. They fake to Tomlinson. The other way is Rivers. Buying time and throwing it away.
I can't even tell you, Steve, how impressed I am with the Raiders in their coverage. Again, nothing fancy.
I don't know if I need to explain man-free safety, but safety deep middle, and it's man-to-man outside. Linebackers locked on the running backs. Strong safety locked on the tight end. And really this is a zone here, but what you're seeing is most basic fundamental defense. This is 1st day of training camp defenses throughout this 1st game.
So what do you do to beat that?
To me, if you're a talented football team in today's NFL, you can beat the one-on-one. I should be open every time. The onus is on the offense.
All right, and finally there's Tomlinson finding a hole and finding a 1st down as he's out well over the 30-yard line near the 35.
Mike, that's why you don't see that kind of defense so much, because truly a talented offense like the San Diego Chargers should eat that up.
So why aren't they?
Because they're being challenged, and they're physically being challenged, and they're contended, and that's just pure athletic and physical presence by the Oakland Raider defense.
Well, they needed a play like this with Jacob Hester leading through and LT getting free up the middle, but I agree with you. The talent of the Chargers should be able to overcome that.
One-on-one
should be able to
open in the NFL every
exactly
time.
Right.
Sproles now in for Tomlinson on a 1st down. And whistles again.
That's going to back it up 5.
Little sloppy they've been.
Well,
playing without 2 of their interior offensive linemen also.
False start, number 66, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
This is a perfect example, really, of when you hear coaches talk, we won it in the trenches. Our offense, this is where the game football is played, and that's what's happening. They're winning so much in the trenches that defensive line has got that offensive line a little bit off balance.
Yep,
right. That's where you see people's offsides.
Has Seymour been a big part of that?
Of course. I mean, a talented player like that, bringing that confidence, moving around, having them chase him, eyeball. Hey, there's Seymour on there, tackle, and yes, absolutely.
Rivers. This time he's out as the fullback. It's Jacob Hester for the short gain. Rivers had been 0 for his previous 5, but the short gain here on the 1st and 15.
The Raiders defensively have just been awful over the last few years. I mean, and we look at last season first, just horrible against the run. They've been getting run on. Getting Richard Seymour certainly helped that because they've contained San Diego. Just has 47 yards rushing. But let's go back even since the Super Bowl in 2002. Oakland's run defense has been the worst in the NFL from that time span, giving up 141 yards a game.
2nd and 10. Tomlinson back on the field. Rivers in some trouble. Flings it to the ground, but the receiver was there. Tomlinson was right in the area. Crowd wants grounding, but they're not going to get it.
In fairness to the Raiders, for the simplicity of their defense, we will say that was a little combination man. Finally, we saw something that was on the 2nd day of training camp.
But excellent pressure by Tommy Kelly, a D tackle that got some big money not too long ago, and there were some eyebrows raised about that.
And that's Marcus McNeil, who seems as though we got the back of his leg run over as well. The Chargers could ill afford to lose him.
He's up and moving around.
He is up.
But boy, I tell you, that D-line is playing inspired. Again, Tommy Kelly got a big deal. A lot of people thought, man, that's a little too much money for this guy. That was some excellent pressure there. The whole D-line's been playing well.
3rd down.
It's just completely off kilter. Hardly to the.
And there's a little bit of that Rivers feistiness we talk about sometimes. Not sure exactly what happened down there with Greg Ellis, but flags fly again.
Raiders are under the Chargers' skin. Credit the Raiders tonight on what's going on. Absolutely give them. We can say San Diego can be off and not playing their game, but I am gonna give all the credit in the world to the Raiders and how they're playing ball.
First charge timeout, San Diego. After the timeout was called, taunting number 17 of San Diego.
And to me, that's a little
distance to the goal. 3rd down.
It's a part of his personality. We talked about it earlier, but to me, it's a little bit like coming out in a Ferrari in the garage. You come out and there's little oil on underneath the car. It's that little bit that he just can't in the long run. Don't chirp back. You don't need to. It just makes your job harder.
He said something to Warren, who was on the ground. Then it looked like Rivers dropped his mouthpiece and bent down to pick it up.
You saw Richard Seymour come over and say, "Hey, fella, that's not going to work. It doesn't go down that way." And so, being an NFL quarterback is hard enough. I've always thought that Phil made it a little bit harder with that chirp in his butt. To our conversation yesterday, that's a part of his personality.
Well,
and that's why LaDainian says we try to have him chirp to us, not to the other team.
One of the things he said is, I think I found the line where I can go. Well, there, he didn't find the line. He went over the line and cost his team.
They had a 3rd and long down here not long ago, and they just handed the ball off to Sproles. Now they face 3rd and 25 inside their own 20. Let's see if they go for all of it here.
Oh, no, you have got to be kidding me. Back 5 more.
Ball start.
Off a
Number
timeout.
62. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Brandon Dombrowski. I mean, we have to start digging deep for the names on this O-line with some of the players that they've gotten injured and who's filling in.
Yeah,
Defensive line was shifting. Dombrowski, who has not been in a lot of this game at all, he sees the D-line shift. He starts to move.
Oh, he's listed the backup left tackle, playing right guard. This is the nightmare for offensive linemen to be shifted around and be able to play positions out of position in a big ball game backed up in your own end zone.
I got to believe they're going to run this and live to fight another series.
And you're right, Darren Sproles over the 15 to the 20, but not near enough for the 1st down. And so that Raider defense with Trevor Scott making the tackle, continuing to dominate the play.
And all this said, guys, look at the score. 10 to 10. 10 to 10. Oakland is dominating this game. They're playing inspired football. They haven't won an opening game in 6 years. They're playing great football right now. but it's one big play away from being behind.
Which is why you've got to say that the Raiders have a huge onus on them throughout the season to play this well and win football games, being so simplistic.
Johnny Lee Higgins, the return man, makes one miss, few miss, and that's it. As he's taken down inside his own 30, David Binn makes the tackle.
Back in Oakland, first down for the Raiders. Jamarcus Russell going deep right off the bat, and again, nowhere near receiver. Let me ask you real quickly, because we were talking about his accuracy, Steve. You can work on reading defenses. How do you work on accuracy?
You really can't. It's a natural talent. It's like you're born with it. There are naturally, Tom Brady, one of the gifted, accurate throwers of all time. They deliver the football so well, but a lot of your accuracy is your eyes. That time Jamarcus Russell goes back, doesn't really find the receiver. How can you be accurate if you don't locate him first? So, I mean, there's a lot of elements to accuracy, but no, I do not believe you can teach accuracy beyond, a little bit. That's really footwork.
Russell 0 for his last 6, so they'll try running it this time to McFadden. He goes left for a nice gain, and that'll set up third and a manageable distance, which is exactly where you want to have your young quarterback, Jamarcus Russell, who just needs to deliver the football.
Wow, another San Diego player getting up a little slow there. Luis Castillo, he's running off the field. We've seen a lineman going down. And this, we saw Sean Phillips going off the field before halftime, before the rest of the team did.
Yeah, if you're an offensive lineman that was in camp with the San Diego Chargers this summer and got cut, you're going to get a phone call here quickly.
3rd and 6. Looking right the whole way, dumps it off, no one there. It's Johnny Lee Higgins, the intended receiver. He did look right the entire time, didn't seem to be anybody open at all.
Dropping straight back, to me, the full field read, even though he was looking one way the whole way, he probably could go the whole full field. But I really think that for Jamarcus Russell right now, cut the field in half. Give him no opportunities to go full field. Go deep to short to drop off to throw it away. Really, at this point, that would be the best idea for him.
Tell you what I'm going to bring up, maybe next time they get the ball? Where's Jeff Garcia?
He's in Philadelphia as of today.
Exactly right, but Jeff Garcia was here. I think it'd be an interesting conversation maybe on why he's gone.
3 and out so far in the second half for the Raiders. Sproles bobbles but recovers and dances out over the 30-yard line. So the Raider offense has stagnated completely. San Diego not able to do much either. It's been a bit of a muck here in the 3rd quarter, and so here comes Phillip Rivers, who you see the numbers here in the second half. He has really struggled, Steve.
And, I think a lot of it's protection. You get linemen, and this happens, it's absolutely worst on the road, right, with the noise factor early in the season here. First game, you lose linemen, it's a big shift. You're off kilter. You've got these great weapons. The offensive line at the core needs to give him time. But even when he's had time, they've been contested down the field. They've not been accurate. One interception in particular. This is, failure offensively from every element right now for the Chargers.
A lot of stars on the San Diego offense not shining so brightly tonight. Here's LaDainian Tomlinson trying the left side and not finding a whole lot of room there either.
Again, an inspired Raider defense that is flying to the ball. Defense, again, John Marshall, the new D tackle, as Rob Ryan is over with the Cleveland Browns now. He said he just wanted to worry about guys playing their correct gaps. He said, we have the talent, play your responsibility. Here again, what do you see? Where's the back going? East and west. He wants to go north and south because all the gaps are filled. Eventually the back has to try and pick a hole, and there's been a Raider there all night long.
2nd down. Rivers looking, what a nice play. As it looked for a moment there like Vincent Jackson was going to be open for a big game, but Chris Johnson
got out in
front.
by the skin of your teeth, you're playing defense right now. Again, see free safety. That corner is one-on-one. He's got to make the play, and I'm telling you, he's a couple of inches from having this go for a huge gain.
Boy, catches
undercutting. I mean, a real risky play there.
I'll tell you what, Chris Johnson, Tyvon Branch, Nnamdi Asomugha, there has been some great coverage by the secondary of the Raiders tonight.
And I guess the challenge to all those guys is you're going to have to do it for 16 games.
And another 17 minutes.
3rd and 8. Empty backfield, Rivers. Trouble, and down he goes. They got there in a bunch, but it was Greg Ellis, the former Cowboy, who got there first, and the Chargers will have to punt it again.
Well, again, Phillip Rivers likes to go down the field a little more, so if you're going to do that, you got to hang on to the ball. Ellis coming to the top of the screen. He's battling Jeremy Clary over there, just pushes him up, comes underneath, straight line to the quarterback. No time for Rivers to let anything set up down the field.
That's another coverage sack, though, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah,
it looked like he had a moment, a beat there, and clearly didn't have anywhere to go with the ball.
He got to his second receiver and almost to his third.
Cyphris again, Higgins again, fair catch this time, makes it at the 30 or thereabouts, and that's where the Raiders will begin. And so Jamarcus Russell on the offense, and why not try to run it? They ran it with great success in the first half. It has slowed considerably. That's Michael Bush again. Thus far in the second half, 3 3-and-outs for the Raiders.
And, hold on, sorry, Steve. Another player, Steve Gregory, getting up slow. He got cracked by, I believe it was McFadden, coming on down on a block, and now he's down again. I mean, the Raiders are just laying these guys out on some of these hits. And this is just a team that's coming out just a little harder after you right now. And Gregory, I mean, this was a hit.
They're attending to Steve Gregory, fourth-year man out of Syracuse. Watch it here again, Mike.
It'll come in from the left side of your screen to coming in as a down block. See Gregory, 28. Bam! Oh, he takes a shot.
It is McFadden.
It is McFadden who was split out and came down in the down block. And,
Great block. I mean, that's what you ask for
excellent
your
block.
down blocker. And really, you know, there's that 8th man in the box, and you can tell me physical confrontations. Who has dominated every one of them?
The Raiders.
And there's an example right there. It's a crackdown block, chest high, great form. This is the block they showed day one when they walked through it. Hey, lead with that left shoulder.
Wow.
McFadden, for a speedy guy, which he is much bigger than you'd think. He is not a small back at all. Weighs 210 pounds and looks every ounce of it. Second and 7. Russell over the middle, wide open is the tight end Zach Miller, and there's the man he likes to find.
Well, all day long, and the tight end is the quarterback's best friend. I don't care if you're young or old. And in play action, if you run the ball effectively, you're going to have a bit of time to turn your head, look downfield, find those linebackers and the big seams, and you have a talented tight end to find those holes. But to me, this is the thing that they should be doing a lot more of.
The run is completely, Steve, setting this thing up. It's freezing backers. It's making the D-line play the run, and they have to restart to rush the passer, and it's giving Russell all kind of time. 5
catches, 94 yards for Zach Miller. And the Raiders are coming on a reverse. This is Johnny Lee Higgins with Russell out in front of him. Higgins has got a first down and more, and he's down near the 20-yard line.
So how can Russell? He got one block and was going for 2.
You talk about fundamentals, Mike. That's offensive line fundamentals. They must have taken the whole team to blocking school. Watch this as he leads the reverse. Looking for that block, looking for that block.
There's
get one, out of bounds.
Another one.
Get another one.
Hey, go hit somebody.
He's certainly big enough to do it.
Well, when you're 200 and whatever.
He's listed at 260.
Okay,
Eric
whatever.
Weddle, who he's hitting, is listed at 200.
Like I said, 200 and whatever.
200 and 110 more, maybe.
That's going to do it for the third quarter. The Raiders are threatening.
The third quarter.
The building is alive as the Raiders have a chance. Ready for the fourth quarter in Oakland. The Raiders and the Chargers tied up at 10, and Oakland is threatening. We almost had a huge surprise in the first game of our doubleheader tonight. Buffalo with a great chance to win at New England, and now the Raiders, who've lost 11 straight to the Chargers, in good position here. And on first down, they try and run it up the middle. Michael Bush doesn't find much there.
Well, there we see Stephen Cooper stepping up and making a play. That's kind of what you expect out of this defense against the run. They were 11th in the league last year, but it's been anything but. But that's exactly what the Raiders need to keep doing. They certainly can't rely on Jamarcus Russell arm right now, so they still have to set it up at the run.
This is where basic offensive football doesn't do you well in the NFL, is in the red zone. You really got to be more dynamic to put the ball in the end zone, or you have to run it all the way in.
2nd and 9. They'll try and run it in, or at least run it wide. Ooh, and tripped up on the play as McFadden looked as though he had some yards out there. but had his feet taken out
Yeah.
from behind the line of scrimmage. Nice play by Tim Dobbins.
That was because he had some room. That big man was going to be running downhill if he got by that. But Dobbins just got his arm out there to trip him up. That was a saver right there. McFadden is fast. You know, he can get that corner. Dobbins just, that's what you call, and I've been there, a desperation swipe. This guy is running around me. I'm going to dive and swipe at him.
So here's where quarterbacks really get paid.
Exactly
A lot of quarterbacks
right.
move in between the 30s. This is where you start to become a really good player, if you can make these kind of third down conversions in the red zone.
3rd and 8. Russell rolling, throwing short, and nowhere near a first down to his tight end, Zach Miller, so that'll bring on Janikowski to try and give the Raiders the 3-point lead.
I guess if you're going to look at the glass half full, it's good that he didn't try and do too much there. You're in field goal range. You know, don't get crazy. Don't throw it up for grabs. And now we live.
And Mike, you get a sense that he's actually very good at that.
Yes.
A lot of guys overextend themselves. You know, I'm new. He's not going to lose a lot of ball games for you. He's going to try to hang in there, make good throws, and stay within the system.
35-yard attempt for Janikowski is good, and so the Raiders lead again. And San Diego always beats Oakland. Well, here are the Raiders with a 3-point lead in the 4th quarter. Sproles bobbles. He's got it. He's had a good night tonight, but won't get out to the 25. 1st and 10 Chargers, just under 13 minutes to play in the 4th quarter, down 3 at Oakland. LaDainian Tomlinson finds the outside. He's not found much tonight. He's always done very well against the Raiders. 2nd down, run it again. Tomlinson picks up a yard or 2 short of the 1st, and that'll set up a 3rd and 2.
And you know, you can see by that defensive few plays, it's a skin of their teeth kind of thing right now. I mean, you know, it can go the other way, but right now they're winning every one of those confrontations.
I'm sure there are a lot of San Diego fans right now watching, saying, when are we going to see that big play?
We've got to break out.
Yeah, it's got to happen. And they keep waiting.
The problem with their offensive line reshuffling, it does get tough to break out.
Sproles in on 3rd and a short 3. Nene in motion. Over the middle, and he's got it. That's Antonio Gates who slips but has the first down out over the 40-yard line.
Well, I don't think you're going to get many passes down the field. That pocket is just absolutely collapsing on Rivers. Richard Seymour was there again on the pressure. Watch it just collapse around him. That's why I think these short passes like this to Gates are going to be the way to go. Seymour's at a defensive tackle spot again, just pushes his way back to the quarterback. Rivers has to step up, and Seymour's right there.
Are you surprised at how much of a factor Seymour has been, considering he didn't get to Oakland until Saturday?
No, because again, this isn't anything about scheming. This is about lining up and beating the guy in front of you.
He was in training camp all summer. I mean, he's ready to play football.
He was at a different training camp. Here's Darren Sproles. A nice gain on first down.
And learning a lot more defensive fronts.
Yeah, than this.
I mean, honestly, this is, you know, you watch down after down. You know, John Marshall said, look, we're going to run a couple defenses, and we're going to run them really well. Well, they're definitely running a couple defenses, and they're running them very well. It's the most you can ask right now.
Seymour, remember, traded from New England last week. Did not report to Oakland until late Saturday. Walked through with the Raiders yesterday. Has been on the field pretty much all night tonight and has definitely been a factor. 2nd down, San Diego. Rivers looking long this time. Oh, and wide open is Gates. Inside the 30, and he's not going down so easily, and now he's finding the big tight end in the middle of the field.
And when you're in trouble as a quarterback, you're struggling. We talked about it for Jamarcus Russell, finding a tight end, especially your all-pro tight end, and give him as many opportunities as you can. Again, a basic defense, and you're going to find, you should win every one of those confrontations, and they haven't all day. Now it looks like they're starting to.
When you're getting the receivers here, Rivers, I mean, there's no comparison yet of Rivers and Jamarcus Russell. You see the difference in accuracy. Raiders have been contesting the passes, but when the players are open, Rivers has no problem getting them there.
First down, Tomlinson. Oh, a nice play as he's met there at the point. Thomas Howard on the tackle.
Wow. Again, stringing it out. How many plays have you seen successful up the middle for San Diego? Very, very few. We've only seen LaDainian Tomlinson get the corner, and that was just a couple of plays ago. Here, there's nothing. They string it out. Again, John Marshall, play your gap, play your responsibility. Trust the man next to you. Don't try and do more than you need to do, and then someone will come up and make the play.
And fundamental football has been not the moniker for the Raiders over the last really 6 years.
That's right.
And so, playing good fundamental football is the first step to getting back on top.
You saw Tomlinson's numbers historically against the Raiders. Certainly hasn't had that tonight. That was Sproles in motion. Here's Sproles outside. Oh, and he's decked as the ball goes down, and that's Howard again. Howard, a very athletic linebacker. His father played in the National Football League, and a couple of big plays.
Steve, let me ask you, that's difficult plays to run, especially when you're in man. And when you got guys already up on receivers, or in this case, running backs, it's very difficult to get away with a play.
Especially when your receiver, I think, is supposed to pick the linebacker in man, and he doesn't pick him at all and lets him have a front roll run into your back.
Jeremy Clary, the tackle, was trying to get out there, but Howard attacked so quickly.
He was late.
Clary had no shot.
Listen to the crowd on a 3rd and long for the Chargers. Underneath, he's got it. Nice play, and that'll silence the crowd. Sproles out of the backfield.
And that, to me, that's actually really poor defense, right? You're in zone. You drop your linebackers beyond the 3rd down mark so that when you drop it off the back, you can't actually come and tackle the quarterback until the 1st down is already up. Look at these linebackers, the depth of drop. Look at the 1st down marker. You can't turn your back. Now he's just giving too much.
I tell you what, I'm looking at that clock over 8 minutes going on. That could be one of the plays of the game right there. They stop him there and force him into a long field goal attempt. Now it's 1st down at the 16.
15-yard gain on 3rd and 12 there on the pass to Sproles. Sproles in the handoff this time, gain of 1.
You go back to that last play, 3rd and 12, and you drop it off to your back, and he easily makes the 1st down.
Yeah.
That's not good defense.
So now let's see if the defense, again, which has been playing excellent all night, now their task is simply stated, force them into a field goal.
And the new contract that Philip Rivers got, we talked about earlier, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Philip Rivers coming in together, all accomplished quarterbacks. These are where those 3 are now excelling, is where it's very difficult. And I think where you become a real pro is in the red zone.
2nd down. Upstairs, man was open. Oh! And it's a touchdown to Vincent Jackson. Jackson with the score, and the Chargers take the lead.
How athletic was that? It looked, it's one of those routes where, and they did this in the preseason a lot. Vincent Jackson's so much bigger than a lot of the other corners in the league. They're going to let it go outside and let him go make a play. He lets that ball go early. Vincent Jackson's now looks, talk about anticipation, and look at this athletic move to go get the football. No one else can catch it but my guy. Well, and my guy is actually one of the better athletes in the league.
He went past Osawa, and then the safety came underneath.
Stanford route.
Coming over the top of it.
But you put the ball where only he can get it, and then you make a great athlete go make a great athletic play.
7:22 to go, 4th quarter. Chargers on a 10-play, 77-yard drive that took over 5.5 minutes off the clock. Have taken the lead for the first time tonight. Philip Rivers on the drive, 4 of 5 for 65 yards. And so we'll see if the Raiders are able to answer. That's Lewis Rankin on the return, and a good one out near the 30-yard line. Started well tonight for Jamarcus Russell, but the second half has been a different story. Not a whole lot of offense for these Raiders, and they find themselves trailing for the first time tonight. And we'll see if Jamarcus Russell's able to lead a big drive here in the final 7 minutes and change. 1st down inside his own 30. Looking left, throwing. And that one off the hands of McFadden. And let's go back to the big play, the 3rd and 12 to Darren Sproles.
Yeah, this was the play. You see the linebackers right here. Both are going to get out. They're going to get out and leave a lot of space in the middle of the field. So as the play develops and they get out of there, there's room for Sproles. And then right as he catches it, you're going to see the backer right here. He slips and he falls down, giving Sproles enough area to get the 1st down.
That was a big play. Almost immediately thereafter, they hit the touchdown pass to Vincent Jackson. That was a 3rd and 12. They picked up 15 yards. Here's 2nd down for the Raiders. They'll run it. Michael Bush out near the 1st down.
Interesting, Mike, the defense you just illustrated. It's a fancier defense than we've seen, where the backside linebacker now goes to double the X receiver, call it 1X. Well, you see they get a little fancy and things
What
don't go
happens?
as well. You know?
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
This is the guy you're talking about right here, right? Yeah.
He's now going to double the X receiver, so he's leaving vacated that whole area, so that other linebacker needs to press much more than that on the back coming out, especially the backside linebacker leaving. So it's like, you know, you get a little fancy for the Raiders, and that's just not the way they're going to be able to play right now.
Meanwhile, a big play in short yardage here for the Raiders. Jamarcus Russell will push it himself, and he'll get the first down, a big one out near the 40-yard line. And so the Raiders, under 6.5 to play, need to move the ball down. A field goal will do them no good. Steve Young, how do you handle this offensive series with the young quarterback?
Well, yeah, hold on, guys, real quick. Jamarcus Russell is down. He was going for the quarterback sneak, and as we see, the running back will come up behind and give that push. And he took a shot in the back, and I don't know if that's what hurt him or not, but immediately he was down from that.
The quarterback sneak is the worst. In many ways, sometimes the most dangerous thing for a quarterback. You know, I've fractured ribs on that play before. You get into a big pile, and even your friends, you know, you're going to be running backs behind you, or those outside linebackers come in behind and dive in and spear you. It's a very, very dangerous play, especially if you stay up. I don't see much danger in that
really,
one at
Michael
all.
Bush
So
really didn't get a hold of him at all.
You suspect maybe it was, let's see if his knees.
Look
at that left knee gets hyperextended.
Left knee. Sean Merriman falls on top of it. Yep. Bush is laying on it. Merriman falls on top.
So that's
Michael Bush.
That honestly, that could be a play, or
look at that. He's limping pretty good.
That could be a play, or that could be 4 or 5 weeks, or maybe even more. I mean, you just don't know exactly.
We get a chance to show this again. I'll show you exactly what. Watch his left leg as he's turning and rolling onto his back. You'll see Michael Bush, 29, is laying on top of him, and then Sean Merriman lands on him, and boom, there's the knee.
And it's worth pointing out right now that Jeff Garcia was brought here to be the backup quarterback and was released in a surprising decision, one that Tom Cable told us Jeff Garcia wanted. Garcia, of course, today signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, and so the backup is Bruce Gradkowski, fourth-year man out of Toledo, and it'll be his show now on a first down near the 40-yard line. They'll dump it off. McFadden with a nice move and a gain of about 5.
And to your point, Mike, to be fair to Jeff Garcia, I spoke to him before the game.
Flag down.
And that was Bush again, my mistake there. It's Bush 29 and McFadden 20, and in these throwback uniforms.
Number 18, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Lewis Murphy, the rookie, who's had a decent night.
Go ahead, Steve. You talked to Jeff Garcia before the game.
You know, I think that he became disenchanted with what was going on in Oakland. Didn't necessarily feel like that was going to be the place to fulfill him. And I think what you'd find with Philadelphia signing him, that he'd rather not play than play here, but he'd also want to play in Philadelphia. So to be fair to him, I think that he was looking for a different challenge. You know, it wasn't not necessarily I don't want to play football.
Right.
I just don't want to play it here.
Because they've made it clear here, this is Jamarcus Russell's team, and maybe the only way it was going to get in was maybe what we just saw, Jamarcus getting hurt.
Gradkowski did start one game last year in Cleveland, completed just 33% of his 21 passing attempts last year, and now he faces a first and long at his own 30. Goes left, and he's got the back, McFadden, who gets more than half of it back.
Tell you what, I like them splitting McFadden out, Steve.
Yeah,
I mean, here's a guy you want the ball in space,
and very capable of running routes. He's, you know, you talk to him. We talked to him on Saturday. You know, he wants to be the complete back. He wants to be like LaDainian Tomlinson and do all the things that a back can do, and even more. I asked him, you know, and including throwing the football, and he says, yeah, give me the wildcat, I'll throw the football as well. But that's a big-time wide receiver route right there. Very simple, but very precise.
Jamarcus Russell has his helmet back on. Saw him over there working that knee a little bit, and he's put the helmet back on, and he's standing right up by the edge. So perhaps we will see him again. 2nd and 9 for Gradkowski. Underneath, complete, but short of the first down is the rookie Lewis Murphy, and that'll set up a big third down with the clock ticking down under 4.5 minutes.
Let me ask this real quick, Steve. If Jamarcus Russell on the sideline right now saying I'm good to go, is he going back in?
Well, they've made that decision a long time ago, especially releasing Jeff Garcia. You've got a young quarterback
right now. I mean, right now, this play.
Look, if he is back, no, you can third and let him finish the play. But yes, I mean, Jamarcus Russell's ready to play. They're going to play him, and I don't think they're going to hold him out unless he's hurt. So yes, get him back in the field. He's the man. This whole organization, he really does have on his back.
They clearly were in no hurry there.
Oh, boy.
Mistake with the snap count, hold everything. But they let all of the time run down on that clock. They're really not giving themselves a lot of wiggle room.
False start, number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
And so third and short becomes third and not so short now for the Raiders in a big spot as the clock is under 4 minutes. Again, I was a bit surprised not to see a little more urgency.
74 to right tackle. He gets the move.
Gradkowski, he definitely wasn't ready for the football
he was
either.
not. No, he
took
was
it,
not.
Took it in the groin there.
Yeah. Certainly a height difference when you see Gradkowski in the huddle.
Maybe
it's
even
Marcus Russell.
I don't know if his voice is, that big old rough 300-pound voice, and then Bruce coming in, it might be a little different.
Here we go on a big third down play for the Raiders. Dumps it off. McFadden's had a lot of work to do if he's going to get there, and he's not going to get close. And flag is down.
Yeah, you're going to get holding on this.
Well, you get a declined penalty if it's against the offense, and make him punt.
Raiders are
Use of
cheering.
Hands to the face.
Wow.
Number 95 defense.
Well,
5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
you see right tackle Cornell Green going to pick up his helmet. So he may have got jacked in the face mask and his helmet came off. So again, Cornell Green is the right tackle. Up at the top of your screen, see the hand comes up right into the face, rips the helmet off.
Well,
That's a good call.
if the helmet comes off,
Yeah, I mean,
probably gonna,
I've done that a
probably
couple
look.
times. It got called because as a D lineman, you do try and get your hands inside right on the numbers and drive the offensive lineman back. But sometimes as you're driving him, your hands will slide up the body and catch the face.
And
mask.
officials are human. If the helmet comes off, they're going to find a reason for it.
Who's back in the game?
Well,
Jamarcus Russell's back on the field. Steve Young, this is obviously the right decision. He's your
of course,
quarterback.
if
You
he's
put him
healthy,
back on the field.
And this is going to be, really, you have to say that the whole organization, I just mentioned this, it really does depend on the growth and development of Jamarcus Russell. In the end of the day, to have this team become a 500 football team or above, it's really about him regardless.
See what he can do here with a first down. He'll drop it off underneath.
Another
McFadden
flag.
on a short gain, and another flag on the field, becoming a choppy game in this second half. First half flew by, second half between the injuries and a whole lot of penalties.
Number 74,
Oh, boy.
offense, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
So we got Cornell Green. He jumped, cost him 5 yards, got his head jacked, and got 15 for his team, and now did holding. Again, top of the screen, gets those hands outside, arm around the neck. They're going to call that every single time.
Pretty good visual evidence there for holding.
Every single time, you right from the get-go, he put his arms to the outside, and when you turn the corner on a guy like that, his arm is extended out, resting to throw the flag.
Part of
every
this
time.
philosophy for the Raiders, if they're going to play simple, offense, defenses, they cannot be the Raiders of the last 6 years' history, being the most penalized team.
Right.
They have got to play clean football if they're going to play this way and be successful.
Russell on 1st and 20.
Good call, screen.
A nice screen they set up for McFadden, still on his feet, out over midfield. Will we get a flag there? Looked like there might have been a face mask late in that play. I don't see a flag on the play. Clinton Hart went up high on McFadden, but he got a lot of that yardage back. 13 yards on the play.
Again, I think that's a smart call. Defense getting out. You got a long way to go. Get your lineman out in front, and this is a guy you want with the ball in the open field.
Again, from a play calling standpoint, Ted Tollner making those calls. You want to protect young quarterback. Tight end, screen, up to down, one-sided reads. That's what you want to do to protect them.
Inside 3 minutes now, McFadden on 2nd and 7. And Russell's going to go down. Breaking through the line there is Ojembe Nwabo in on Russell, and that's going to set up a very big third down
Huge play there.
Yeah.
Huge play.
He beat Chris Morris on this one, who was the center, and then has gone to guard. Now he's actually back at center again.
First sack of the night for the Chargers comes at a very, very big point.
It looked to me like Jamarcus might have audibled.
Yeah.
And seen man-to-man outside and looked like maybe he was looking for a double move of some kind. And he looked one way and then looked the other, wasn't sure which way to go, and he got beat so fast that he couldn't get out of the way. But I don't know. I'm sure they've given him some latitude to do that.
Right.
But in this
You don't see him do
situation,
much. You don't
in this
see him do much.
situation, maybe not the spot
Right.
to be changing the play.
Big play, 3rd and 15 for the Raiders. Russell over the middle, nice throw.
Ball came out.
Darius Hayward-Bay. Now, did he catch it?
No, he did not. Did not have possession.
Eric
and then,
Weddle came up and popped him. It's not Hayward-Bay. It's Johnny Lee Higgins.
I tell you what, a great throw by Jamarcus Russell,
It
right
was.
on the money. But boy, that was into traffic, and Higgins paid for it. Good, clean hit. Lowered the shoulder, hit him right in the chest with the shoulder. Nothing wrong with that hit at all. Did not have possession of the ball.
Eric Weddle, the man with the hit. Free safety out of Utah. And so Higgins is down, and he's still not gotten up.
And see, that's the problem with staring to one side. I mean, you give great players in the NFL a chance to have a fraction of a second more idea of where you're going to throw the football. They can break on balls like that. And so, again, development it's going to be patience, because you're going to get hits like that, and receivers going to be, strung out a little bit.
Good to see Higgins up. See Weddle came over to make sure he's okay. They did a little fist pump. Well, that's nice. That's good. Good, clean football, hard-hitting football. It's the way the game's played.
Would either of you give any thought here to going for it? 2:41 remaining. 4th and 15. At your own 43, you punt it away. You try and shut them down.
Yeah, I mean, you have your 2 timeouts. Your defense has been playing well.
Looks to me like they still have their offense
Yes,
on the
they sure
field. At this yardage, it's not like you're just
So we're
going
going to play very close to the vest all day long and then get
Yeah.
crazy here at the end.
I don't know
if that's how you want to.
Take one shot to try and win the game. He threw a good ball on 3rd down. Russell
He's got him.
going for it all over. He's got him in wide open. Lewis Murphy, touchdown. Touchdown Raiders. Listen to the crowd.
Well, you want to do that if you've got that kind of a call.
Like we said, the right call all along. No doubt you go for it. Listen to these fans. Raider Nation, at least for tonight, seems to be back with 2:34 to go on what Jamarcus Russell, what Al Davis liked in Jamarcus Russell. He can throw the deep ball. And when that ball was in the air and caught, you saw Antonio Cromartie and Clinton Hart just start pointing at one another, the 2 San Diego defensive backs, like, you were supposed to be there. No, you were supposed to be there. Touchdown Raiders.
57 yards on a 4th and 15. And give credit to Tom Cable. Herman Edwards said it, and Tom Cable just did it. You play to win the game. An amazing turn of events on a 4th and 15. The Raiders go for it and get it all. A 57-yard touchdown pass from Jamarcus Russell to the rookie Lewis Murphy. How'd he get behind the defense?
Here's Cromartie here, and here's Hart here. Hart's playing up too close and lets Murphy go right by him. I'm stunned
The short
at this.
split, a lot of times corners and safeties can get confused when the receiver is not all the way out. You can see Clinton Hart pointing back, hey, Cromartie, that's your guy to the post. But I got to believe the safety at the end of the day is in charge of the post move, even though he was pointing. But that's where that short little set halfway from the wide out outside the numbers, that's inside the numbers, gets that little indecision between corner and safety. Who's in charge of the post? I still believe the safety's got to be in charge of that one.
The Chargers have won 11 straight meetings between these 2 teams. But here are the Raiders with a 3-point lead late. And Darren Sproles had some trouble the last few times catching the ball, and down he goes. Such a weapon he is, but this time bad field position to start. Todd Watkins down there to make the tackle. It is very loud in this building. Raider Nation jumping for joy, inspiring its defense. 1st and 10, Rivers at his own 11. Underneath, that's Nene, and it's short of a 1st down.
Now let's see, we've got a lot of new offensive linemen because of the injuries, of how much time Phillip Rivers is going to have in the pocket to get the ball down the field. Certainly, still over 2 minutes to go, still have a couple of timeouts. It's not like they need to go deep right now, and they just need a field goal to tie.
They'll get it off before the 2-minute warning. Rivers Nice throw. Tucks it inside to Vincent Jackson, and so that'll get the 2-minute warning there as they're out near the 30-yard line. Under 2 minutes remaining in Oakland, the Raiders trying to pull off an upset and beat San Diego for the first time in the last 12 meetings. Philip Rivers with other ideas and a first down for the Chargers. Underneath, Sproles looking for the sideline and gets it. Nice game for the Chargers.
What a great alternate weapon for the Chargers. Out of the backfield, he really does have a sense of space. You saw him get that big 3rd and 12 just on a little check down. He has a great sense of linebackers. Watch him as he knows the linebacker's going to break. Now I'm going to beat him to the sidelines, make a nice move up the field, then to the sidelines.
It is tough, and there's Seymour on the quarterback again, but it is tough for a linebacker to be sticking with Sproles after he catches that ball. And again, we're saying Sproles a lot and not LT.
Rivers turning it on in this 4th quarter after what's been a quiet night for him and the San Diego offense. First down. Underneath, nice catch by Nene, and again he's working the sideline. He's got a lot of room, and he takes it well into Raider territory. They are already well within Nate Kading's field goal range.
Boy, a couple of great things there, thrown back across his body, and then the catch that's made, and then look, Chris Chambers downfield making a nice block to spring the receiver even more. Watch the throw.
That is
going down.
Extremely athletic.
See Chambers come into on the right-hand side. He made that block there to free up Nene. Nice job of blocking downfield.
1st and 10. Plenty of time left for the Chargers. And again, already in field goal range. Rivers gets it out. Now, there was a receiver in the area, and he was hit. Raiders are lobbying for a grounding call.
No, I don't think.
The quarterback was hit as he was throwing the ball. There's no intentional grounding. It's an incomplete pass.
That wasn't anyway. There's a receiver back there anyway.
Exactly.
So
you know, the Raiders need to be pinning their ears back. That was Trevor Scott that time with the pressure coming from the top of the screen there. Nice underneath move. There was a receiver close enough. It should be pointed out that they are in Nate Kading's range as long as 57. Right now, if they were to line it up, it would be about a 49-yarder, but he would be kicking from the dirt where you look right now.
That's the baseball diamond dirt. 2nd down. Underneath, Sproles. Down near the 20, down near a first down.
the way those linebackers are playing the depth, they should do this 4 times in a row. Until they come and make that play, you should just keep calling it because they're giving him 10 yards a clip on a check down.
Could not agree more.
You just can't play that way.
Could not
Especially as
agree
the field gets compresses.
Look at
the drops to the defense.
They're
past
flying
the
out of
first
there.
down marker there. Look at both of them, more than 10 yards deep. You just got to. That's bad discipline.
Here's a big play on a 3rd and 1. Raiders hold them. The Chargers would have to kick the tying field goal as we're down to 1 minute in regulation. Oh, and they've got the first down and more. There's Antonio Gates inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal Chargers as the clock continues to tick.
That is a great play, and that's a play this team can call. The Raiders aren't in a position to call a play like that yet. You see them playing off on Gates. Philip Rivers sees that, says, we got a quick play right here. Easy first down and more.
Chargers use a timeout just inside the 10, so they cannot pick up a first down without scoring. Darren Sproles gets about halfway there.
Is anybody else wondering why LaDainian Tomlinson isn't in there? I mean, here's a guy who, remember, there was thought he wasn't even going to be a Charger possibly during this offseason, and now he talks about a 30, the chip on his shoulder, what he wants to accomplish and do. He does have 13 carries
He has
tonight.
to be hurt. There's no rational reason he's not on the field.
20 seconds remaining in regulation.
I think Tom Cable wants a timeout.
I got a sense that he might have wanted some.
He just sprinted out onto the field, jumping in the air like an old lineman ballerina.
Hey, I need an official. This might be as high as you're going to see him jump.
Look at this.
Let's see if we can get some. See how high he gets.
Here comes the jumping. Wait, here comes the jumping.
Go.
It's coming.
Up.
There we go.
So he gets the timeout that he wanted. And so we set the stage for you again. 18 seconds, or they'll put 3 more back on. So 21 seconds on the clock. A field goal ties it. Touchdown puts them ahead.
With a timeout, obviously you can play in the middle of the field here. Not a problem. 21 seconds, plenty.
What do you like here, Steve Young?
Well, with LT on the sideline, changes things a little bit. But you've got there's so many options that the Chargers have. That's why they're expected to go so far.
But they probably can't go underneath the Sproles like they've been.
No,
I mean, now your backers aren't going to be flying out of there as far.
But, you know, Vincent Jackson, little fade stop, you know, that's the easiest thing to do. You know, you protect crossing routes, sit in the hole, easy touchdowns from the tight end from Antonio Gates.
Second down. Sproles up the middle, touchdown.
Or Sproles.
Up the middle and almost untouched. Darren Sproles gives the Chargers the lead with 18 seconds remaining.
What a great call. They set up in pass formation, so you know the D lineman is just going to pin their ears back and take off up the field. A great time to run a draw like this. And he barely even got touched. D lineman taken off. Notice the trap late. We saw Seymour inside play that trap differently before. This time it's open because they're worried about coming up the field on a pass rush.
Boy, you can hear a pin drop in this building. The energy here just moments ago after the long touchdown for the Raiders was extraordinary, and now the Chargers are taking the air out of the Coliseum. 18 seconds remaining, 9 plays, 89 yards. They do it in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. A Darren Sproles 5-yard touchdown gives San Diego the lead.
Steve, let me go on the other side. Now Oakland is losing. They played a nice game. Moral victory and a loss for them.
Well, the way that Tom Cable talked about it, yes, fundamental football, playing better football, being competitive. This is what they want. They want to get into games in the fourth quarter. Let Jamarcus Russell make a big throw. Let Darren McFadden make a big play. And then we can try to win these football games. But if you play this way, you're going to lose, you know, 24-20. You're going to have those times. You know, more than not, I think Tom Cable will walk away and say, look, we're playing fundamentally better football. They didn't win it, but that's been the problem. As he said, that's been the problem around here for a while, is we're not playing very good football.
One thing about Jamarcus Russell, you can throw a Hail Mary from your own 30 because he can hoist the ball.
There might be some new plays that you might want to get into there.
The kick is short. And that's where Oakland will begin as the clock continues to tick. Short of the 30-yard line.
Well, look, the Raiders' hopes are going to get a lot brighter if they get that kind of defensive effort every week. I mean, there's just that's one of the better defensive efforts I've seen from the Raiders since the Super Bowl.
Completely agree, and it's a defense that has been awful since the Super Bowl year, especially against the run. So looking here, you got 13 seconds, you got a timeout. You got to figure get the ball to the 45, 50-yard line, use that timeout unless you get out of bounds, and then it gives you a better shot at a Hail Mary.
Yeah, you've got to get 25 to 30 yards of it to here. Difficult, but you know, Jamarcus, this first throw doesn't need to be deep.
No, it doesn't.
You can get underneath a little bit and get to the 50 and then take your Hail Mary. Well, here's the Hail Mary.
Or they'll Hail Mary now. He sure does have an arm. And that ball is intercepted, and that's going to do it. Picked off on the play by Antoine Cason. And so for Jamarcus Russell and the Raiders and Raider Nation, this night will end in disappointment. For the Chargers, a sigh of relief as they will emerge with their 12th straight win over the Raiders. And we take another look here. Again, they could have thrown the ball downfield about 20 yards, went for broke, and it comes up wrong.
I tell you, they have to be so disappointed. I mean, the change of training camp of Tom Cable, Steve, as you've been talking about, the first 4 days, no pads, no hitting, just fundamentals. They played good fundamental football tonight, especially defensively. But the question mark, let's say it, the question mark is still Jamarcus Russell. I know he threw the bomb and the big play on a broken coverage. The guy was wide open. He still has an accuracy issue.
Builds such a big anticipation, and people expect so much from him. And it's going to be a while. He's a very young 23. He's, you know, it's going to be some time.
Right.
So this team's going to have to win some games without him. So great job by the Chargers, though, coming back.
They won't win it tonight, and so it is 12 straight wins and counting for the San Diego Chargers against the Oakland Raiders. But this one was not easy. Raiders fight. We were in this building a year ago for their opener. They were blown out by Denver. Tonight, we had ourselves a ball game.